Probably not going to get a very big paycheck. But ready?
We still didn't get this fixed?
Jeff.
That's a no.
Does it look like it's fixed?
I just asked a question.
We had a lightning storm out here, and I'm pretty sure it fried either this or it fried the Starlink.
No, the Starlink's fixed now. I fixed it last night.
Oh, well, this still isn't fixed.
I fixed the Starlink last night.
How'd you fix the Starlink last night?
Unplugged it and turned it back in, and it started
I've
working
done that
perfect.
4 times.
Oh, well, I didn't. I guess I had the magic touch because last night Mom came there and she goes, listen, you got to fix the damn sprawl. So I done the modem and everything. It's worked perfect last night.
I emailed them. We'll see. The bitch of it is this company's out of Australia, so it's like a 16-hour time difference. So
I told you just to order another one. We need it as a backup in case something would happen. That's fine. Anyways, we had a lightning strike, but it was different. It didn't knock all the power out at first. It dimmed everything. We had about a third of the power. I think they call that a brownout.
Yeah.
We had about a third of the power.
had a leg out.
For about 15 minutes, and then it all went out. And they had it fixed by the time breakfast was over, but it was right at breakfast time, not when it first started. Tony just made the coffee, thank God, and it was done.
But right after that, this is
We've had
nothing but hell out of this. All right. So anyway.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Mossberg. Mossberg 940, that's what my boys shoot, the waterfowl edition. And Mossberg is a proud sponsor and contributor to the Gold Star Dove Hunt. Gave guns to all the kids. Hats off to Mossberg.
Sure did feel like an idiot last year when I was trying to put that together in front of the kids, trying to be all cool, putting their new gun together, and like, you never seen a gun before, and I had to pull out the instruction manual.
So do you want to practice before this year's guns?
I might put a gun together, just brush up a little bit.
I think they're the same guns as before.
Kids are looking at me like, Jesus, you do this every day? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. I don't fuck with guns every day, but,
You got it done.
Felt like I clipped my nuts right in front of me.
We got an interesting message today.
We did.
Or yesterday. Did you see the girl that was at the music festival?
No.
They tagged you in that picture.
Jeff, I don't look at that shit.
You don't?
No.
So you don't look at the Big Honker Podcast page?
Not very often.
Well, you should, because someone tagged you in a picture of a chick at the festival. You also got some guys told you they met their wives at musical festivals, didn't you?
Well, they DM me.
Okay. So do you still stand with that statement? 100% of women that go to music festivals are whores, is what you said.
I didn't say that.
What'd you say?
Whorish tendencies.
Whorish tendencies.
There's a difference. Not afraid to be a whore. If you got to do it, you got to do it.
What do you classify? First of all, what do you classify as a music festival? Like three bands?
No.
A multi-day deal?
You got to be there a week. 5 days.
5 days.
5 days is a music festival.
Okay. And you're still sticking, if a girl goes to music festival for 5 days, she's a whore, is what you said. I don't think they are.
Really?
No. I don't think every woman that went to Burning Man was a whore.
I would say the overwhelming percentages that they are.
Wow.
Not a whore, just not afraid to, get down and dirty.
What do you classify? How would you give a definition of a whore then?
What do you mean?
What's your definition of a whore? Because a whore today is different than a whore was in 1960.
Okay.
I think a girl in 1960 was called a whore if she slept with 2 guys or 1.
Well, that's unfair.
I agree with you 100%. But if a girl today has slept with 20 guys, I don't think that's unusual. I don't know. I'm not a woman.
That's a lot.
You think so? First of all, we're bringing our guest, Brian Hall. Brian, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah,
How are
he's
you?
Brian
4 minutes and he's sitting over there waiting to get introduced.
Brian,
and Jeff's just grilling. me.
Brian, how long do you work for us? 8 years?
Yeah.
8 years. Great employee. One of the best employees I've ever had. I appreciate all the work you've done for us.
you.
Family, I love you like a brother. You're a great guy. What's your class? What would you say? You say Andy is out of bounds on this? Because I think Andy's wrong to classify all women that go to music festivals as whores.
I didn't classify all of them. You're taking this out of context. It's like the flat earth shit. I didn't say that all of them were that way.
How many did you say?
The overwhelming majority.
Okay. Most women that go to music, is that most? Can I say most?
A shocking proportion. How about that?
Shocking
Like
proportion.
90%, 85.
That's what I'm wanting to number, you know?
It's a shocking. You'd be shocked.
Okay. And now we're talking body counts.
Okay.
Brian, how many? I think the average girl today, I'm going to say the average girl in college that's 22 years old, it's a good graduate college, I bet most women have been with 10 to 20 guys. Do you think that's fair?
I don't know if I'd say most.
There he goes again with that shit.
I would probably say half have been with 10 or more guys.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that half. I hate to, because there's some girls that bring the average way down, and there's some girls that blow that fucking average up.
Probably, yeah.
I think we're wrong to judge them because a man is trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you went to a music festival, you're trying to meet a chick. If you don't have a girlfriend and you go to a music festival, your whole thing is going to meet some hot chicks and have sex and have fun.
Yeah. The thing I wonder about is, okay, after like day 2, you got to be pretty ripe.
Oh.
Yes.
What are you doing out there? I mean, are you,
Yeah.
baby wipes in the porta potty? I mean, you got a nice camper set up. What's going on?
Most
there?
of them
I
are
don't
in a
know.
tent. Did
Yeah.
you see that Woodstock 99 on Netflix?
No.
Oh my god.
Great show.
It is. So Woodstock, they did it again in 1999, and they skimped on 2 things to cut costs. They skimped on sanitation, porta potties and stuff, cut down on the number of porta potties, and they cut down on security. 2 things that you're putting on fucking a week long or however long it is,
5 days.
music festival, and you're going to cut down on the shitters and security.
Well-
I don't think that'd be where I'd start.
And who was the guy that caused the big ruckus, the singer? Was it Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, it was Limp Bizkit. They sung, they did break stuff, and like the crowd broke stuff. A lot of stuff.
Now, as a people watcher, if you'd have had a private suite up on the top and you could have watched all this shit, the debauchery and shit, I would have been all about that shit. Dan Reese, that listened to our podcast and big podcast guy, he was there. I think he snuck off and went. But I don't want to be around a bunch of, I don't like large crowds and stinking loud shit.
Yeah.
Now, when I was young, I would have went just because the chicks would have been there. Just like Burning Man. I think it'd be cool to go to Burning Man. Nowadays, I wouldn't. But when I was younger, I would have been all about that shit. That'd been fun as hell.
Yeah. I'd have been cool with it for a day or 2.
Yes.
But
No.
after that, I'm done.
One night, go back to hotel, then go back the next day. I could have done that.
Yeah.
But I'm not one to want to sleep in a tent and all that shit.
Here's the trailer to this. And sorry.
Many of us remember it for. What the hell happened?
Good God.
That's too many people.
It really felt like it was flower power and coming together in harmony.
I've never seen as many people.
There's peace and love in music.
No, there ain't no peace and love.
It felt like a crowd that could turn at any time.
It was like this unleashing all this energy. There was no control.
The environment was just very male ego.
I started seeing large groups of dudes surrounding women.
There was a lack of respect.
Given the climate of the guys there, I'm not surprised by it.
Hey guys, back there some room. You're gonna stare here. What sort of setup do you have for accountability?
How many security guards do you have on site?
They were glossing over all of that.
Big fat red wall.
But the show was gonna go on. I think we need to see a whole hell of a lot more.
Who was that? Was that Billy Baldwin or Flea?
Steve Baldwin.
Steve Baldwin.
Once you become part of our herd, you become like animals. And all of these people.
Okay, that we can hear. We got that deal. But you know what's funny is that lady said, she said, when you get men like this, I ain't got news for you. If you go back to the times of the pirates to today,
Well,
any
goddamn,
group
you're
of men-
comparing us to pirates?
No, but I mean, it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
they were savages.
Well, you get a group of men together, and that shit's going to happen. You're giving them beer, chicks are running around half naked. They're going to act like a bunch of dickheads.
What she meant with that was the music was different. So you had Woodstock 69, and that was kind of the peace and love movement. You had, who all played? Jimi Hendrix. Anyway, the music was different. The music had a different vibe to it. Like this was Red Hot Chili Peppers, Limp Bizkit. I think Korn was there. So, I mean, the music was much more aggressive, and the music bled over into the crowd and the way that men handled their interactions with women is what she meant by that.
Well,
And I agree with that.
Do you think there'll be a Woodstock third one?
I hope not.
Your boys may go to it.
They people had like hand, foot, and mouth disease because like it had rained and like all the mud and shit, and like they didn't realize they thought it was mud and it was just like really a porta potty had like tipped over, so people are like mudsliding and it was really just
Shit.
a bunch of piss and shit.
Fuck that shit.
From 3 or 4 days.
I'm out of that.
And yeah, that's disgusting.
And
Yeah,
then-
you can have that shit.
Yeah.
The thing that freaks me out is seeing 50,000 people standing together. And the reason I don't want to be there is if one person panics,
Yeah.
you're trampled.
Yes.
You're dead. You're like a baby wildebeest in a stampede. You're just done.
And I actually think it was closer to 250,000 people, if I remember
Yeah.
the numbers right.
And what's amazing is that one kid said, well, they're just trying to make money. Fucker, I got news for you. That's why people do anything.
They teased that Prince was gonna be they teased that I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers closed, and they had been teasing like all weekend, like we got a big act. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows.
So that's
about
what
it.
he was talking about then with the money?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like the show ends and everybody's like, okay, Prince is about to come out and he's gonna just fucking rock the house and we're gonna go home and it's gonna be Prince and blah 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 blah. I think it was Prince, and they're like, all right, everybody, peace, and they're like, where's Prince? Where's Prince? I've been here for 4 fucking days. I got swamp ass. I definitely have herpes. Like, I need to see Prince. Prince didn't come.
I learned an interesting fact about Prince yesterday from Andy. You know that thing Sinead O'Connor sang, what's the name of that?
Nothing compares to you.
I didn't know Prince wrote that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And he was singing it yesterday. I was in Andy's truck. I'm like, this dude does not do as good as Sinead O'Connor. And Andy goes, well, he wrote it. It's like, who is it? He goes,
Motherfucker
Prince.
can do it however he
I go,
wants.
I didn't know that.
Have you ever heard Chris Cornell's version of it?
I told him he
Andy
was better.
Fucking amazing.
I told him he was better.
I have a hard time believing anybody's better than Sinead. And I wasn't a Sinead
Oh,
O'Connor
no,
fan.
I'll pull it up real
His
quick.
tempo's a little different in it,
Yes.
but it is freaking amazing.
First of all, I don't know who Chris Cornell is.
yeah, he
Oh
was
my
on
God.
Soundgarden, right?
I
Yeah.
still don't know who he is.
I'll pull
I'm
it up.
old. I don't listen to that shit.
He is the greatest vocalist
We'll
of
listen
the
to
early
like-
2000s.
You mean better than Willie Nelson?
We'll listen to the first lick of it. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like the best. Like it's his now. You know, there's songs like Tennessee Whiskey that just become.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton done that better than David Allan Coe did for sure.
Yeah.
And this is more my vibe. Acoustic shit.
Yeah. Whenever I just want to listen to good music, I put on Chris Cornell's playlist.
Is he playing anything of his own or is it always somebody else's?
Yeah, he
Soundgarden.
wrote a lot.
Or not Soundgarden. What the fuck? It's it'll come to me in a minute.
Well, he was in Temple of the Dog.
Stone Temple Pilots, wasn't it?
No.
No.
No, it was.
7 hours and 15 days
Oh, fuck, that guy's good.
Yeah.
since you took your love away.
I mean, he's way better than anything
Wow.
Prince did or Sinead O'Connell did.
I go out all night and sleep all day since you took your love away.
That song's his now.
I'll be adding that to my playlist. That sucker's good, boy.
But you can't find it anywhere like on iTunes or anything, I don't think. Like I think you can only find it on YouTube.
You know,
That song.
that's a good
Yeah.
song, and that guy maybe is better than Sinead O'Connor. He's very good.
100%.
And it's like Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, me
that just
too.
and that's the only music of theirs I ever liked. But that song is a badass song. I listened to something interesting yesterday. Tony and my wife are both Q people. You're kind of a Q person yourself, Brian.
No.
You're not a Q person.
No,
You're not.
don't
You're
insult
not a
me.
prepper.
Now,
That doesn't mean you're a cute
well,
person.
being
You're
a
just-
Q, I don't even know what Q means anymore. As
Do
far
you-
as I'm concerned, they're a little bit wacko.
Do you think the government's got a conspiracy against all of us?
I think the government is two wings of the same bird.
Okay. Same
audio slave is Chris Cornell.
You think a lot like Tony and Michelle does because we've had conversations. You're a lot like them, and
I don't
Tony's
get into
far
Tony's-
the weather shit and stuff. But Tony had me listen to. He trapped me. We took dove hunters out last night, so he trapped me, and all of a sudden, and we were in his truck. And the rule is, if you're driving, usually you listen to what you want to. But if you're in another person's truck, and I was in Tony's, totaled as one, so we're in his other one, driving down the road, and he goes, "I want you to listen to this." I'm like, "Fuck." He goes, Michelle sent this to me. I was like, oh, God. Dang it.
Even better.
Shit. She does this to me all the time. And I just like, give me the quick synopsis of it. I don't want to listen to 10 minutes. I listened to this podcast yesterday, 10 minutes of it, and it's good. And I want us to play it here, and I need to get it. Matter of fact, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Is it the one Mom sent about the CIA guy?
Tony's is the better version of it.
Is it shorter?
Yeah.
'Cause the one that Mom sent was like 15 minutes.
No, this is the one Tony sends a little. It's probably 5 minutes, but it is a freaking bad. It's a guy that's a CIA. I got to find Tony's name's Dickhead on my phone. There you go. I always forget that.
You don't think Mom sent it to me? She sent me. I had like 8 things that she sent today.
No, this was on.
Well, let me look
Trying
here.
to figure out how I can send this image to you. Anyways, this is something that needs to be. I might send it to Andy.
It's not pulling up for me.
Yeah, but as far as the government goes, the government hadn't been on our side for at least 100 years.
At least.
Yeah. Okay, I just sent it to you. Put that on up there for a little bit. I want everybody to listen to this. This is a guy that was a CIA operative, and he's on his deathbed, and he's dying. And I looked him up a little bit, and everything I can see shows to be pretty true, everything he says. And he talks about aliens and our government and this New World Order stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, this was filmed in 1989, and he calls some stuff. This is some Simpson weird shit here. So either he really is that, or was a fucking Nostradamus or after Nostradamus.
It's 14 minutes, Jeff.
Cut it down to about that.
I can't cut it down.
Just start it. Well, we won't have to play the whole thing, but the first couple of minutes of it's very interesting. I'm saying in Spanish.
Why am I not getting any sound? This was another thing that we had all dialed in and nice and neat, and I could play audio, and it would play over our headphones. And
CIA
There you go.
I was recruited for a new assignment that entailed working within above top secret operations. I was aware of the black budget projects, but never knew the context of them due to their high level of secrecy. Even the president was denied access to their inner workings. Annually, billions of dollars are poured into black projects, which operate without any supervision or intrusion. They have full autonomy. The operations deal primarily with advancing military technologies, most of which have been reverse engineered from recovered alien spacecrafts that had either crashed or were shot down by our military. The public, sadly, will never, ever have knowledge of these operations.
This is where it gets good.
This transition in my life happened in 1970. The senior black project director was William T. Latham, who had worked under CIA Executive Director Richard Schlesinger. Latham stated that I was the perfect candidate for my new position. I was a foster child, and I had no connections to existing relatives. I had no friends or social life. It was easy for them to erase my past and provide me with a new identity. I gave myself to them as a priest would to his God. But first, my mind had to be erased.
MK Ultra.
I was injected with various forms of mind-altering drugs, LSD, heroin, mescaline, morphine, sodium pentothal, and more. Drug-induced hypnosis followed with antegrade and retrograde amnesia. The goal was to program me to do 2 things: kill and forget. After 9 months of programming, I had become a man in black. What I later discovered was that not all the men in black were human. About a third were alien hybrids. Their distinctive feature was the absence of whites in their eyes, giving the impression of empty eye sockets. This unsettled me, and it took months to adjust to the reality of alien integration.
Where can I skip to, Jeff?
My assignments largely dealt with UFO sightings and crash sites.
Just listen to this.
In August of 1971, I witnessed my first UFO crash site just north of Edwards Air Force Base in California. Inside the craft were 3 gray humanoids, 2 dead, 1 still alive. Also in the craft was a human female abductee. The alien humanoids were transported to the base. The 2 witnesses had arrived before us and took several photographs. The first surrendered his camera, but the second fled. When we apprehended him, he resisted, and I was ordered to silence him, which I did. The killing of witnesses was executed with a wand that acted very much like today's taser, but the voltage from the wand would cause immediate cardiac arrest and victim's death could be attributed to natural causes. We silenced countless victims, not only men, but women of all ages and even teenagers. The following day,
He's talking about humans?
Yep.
Silence humans?
so we would have no recollection of the murders. A good majority of the victims were ufologists and whistleblowers.
Like if somebody was out parking and saw it crash?
The ufologists I personally silenced were Paul William Cooper, Milton Vigay, Claude Monroe, Anthony Vargas, and noted documentarian Samantha Willis. When my wand malfunctioned with Samantha, I resorted to strangulation. She fought for her life for almost 2 minutes. In recalling this act, I stared into her pleading eyes for the entire duration with absolutely no remorse, guilt, or feelings. That was how effective the mind conditioning was. And it's her face that haunts my dreams more than anyone's to this day.
Okay, you can stop it for a minute. So this guy worked kind of like a Men in Black type deal is what he's saying.
Except instead of the little thing that you look at to erase you just fucking get killed.
Yeah.
No. They did do the mind altering stuff on him. And
Right, but
the
in Men in
people-
Black, you had a pen that you look in. And you couldn't.
Right.
You didn't remember anything.
But these people that resisted anything, well, I don't know how the truth is, but every one of those pictures was a famous UFO picture from the 50s and 60s. And if every one of those people died, that's kind of a red flag there. And he gets into this more and more, and he talks about the missing kids that are missing in this country. And he said those people, he said they're abducted. They made a deal supposedly when Eisenhower was a president with the gray things, whatever the hell they are. And one of the main guys that's ahead of this program that he was in was a half humanoid, half alien. And he said the difference is they don't have whites of their eyes.
How did he become half humanoid, half alien?
I'm assuming they do all kinds of. He said they've got
reproductive testing.
He said that he says in this interview. I didn't realize it was 14 minutes long. That's how good it was. I listened to this yesterday, and it caught my attention. Usually Tony shit I don't listen to him shows, but this one here was really good, and it kept getting in depth. But he went to a base in Colorado that's underground. He said there's 1,147 bases underground across the world where these aliens, the gray things, are. And he said he's went to one of them, and he said they had kids of all ages, and you could hear them screaming because they don't use anesthesia, and they're doing medical experiments on them all the time. Scary. Now this is where this catches in with me. In 1988, 89, I went to the Boundary Waters with some guys. We went fishing, and two of the guys there worked for the CIA. I didn't know this, how involved they were, but I knew where they worked at, and they worked for a defense contractor. I knew that in the Metroplex. We fished, and they were talking up there, and we were watching. When the Northern Lights come out that night, we were watching all this weird shit. And we were talking about aliens and shit. And a buddy of mine told me, and it was when Bill Clinton was president, and Bill Clinton had declassified a bunch of documents about UFOs and stuff, but you couldn't see them. They weren't everywhere to be had. Well, anyways, their break room where they were at, a lot of these documents were sitting at this break room. And he said, I was reading them at lunchtime. He told me, he said, I wish I'd have never read those things, ever. He said, the people that you see on milk cartons, when they used to put, remember missing pictures used to be on milk cartons? He said, those people ain't been fucking, he said, they've been abducted by aliens. Now, he told me this in 1988 or 1989. This guy's story here is the same shit. And this was done in 1989.
Damn.
On his deathbed. And so the guy that told me this, I've never known him to lie about anything. I don't know why. He's not a bullshitter or nothing. I don't know why he would lie. But I think there's some truth to some of this. And they're saying now aliens are real. But they said they've got a deal made with us where they're going to, that they can take so many people and do experiments and stuff. He says in 2024 we're going to have the aliens are going to come here to fight us. But this is what's interesting. If you get into this thing more, he says that he went to Area 51, went to a private base somewhere, and I don't remember if he said Area 51. He said there's a hangar there, and he said there's this sleek-looking spacecraft in it. He said, amazing. And the guy says, what do you think about that? And he basically, that's pretty impressive. It was a holograph. He said that the Phoenix lights, do you remember the Phoenix lights that happened and they had all them white orbs flying over Phoenix and everybody seen them and stuff and the governor of Arizona? Those were nothing more than holographs is what he said. And he said, our government has figured out a way to do holographs. And what they're going to do is in 2024, the New World Order, is going to use these holographs.
He said that in 1989?
Yeah, he said this in 1989. You can listen to the whole thing. It's pretty interesting, guy. It's I don't even know what you would look up to look for this thing. But anyways, we can maybe put a link up in the private page of the link to this deal. But anyway, says that they're going to use in 2024, they're going to use these holographs, and they look so real, and they're going to fly them all over, and then our military is going to go in. It's going to be a reason to start a war with aliens. And it's not really going to be aliens. We're going to be fighting these holographs and just shooting at them and shit. And we're going to spend tons of money, but we're going to get everybody in mass hysteria that the aliens are attacking us. But
Why?
To create one new world order. And this
they're going to use. I thought that was what the pandemic was.
Also in his thing, he talks about the pandemic. He said in 2017 or 2018, they're going to release a bioweapon on us. And he said they're going to, a virus is what he said. He didn't say COVID, no names or nothing.
Right, but he just knew.
He said in 2017 or 18, there's going to be this virus is going to come around. It's going to be the first stages of getting people. They want to depopulate the earth by 90% by 2030.
Why?
That's my question. I don't understand. I understand why you'd want to depopulate. This sounds horrible. China, for example, they got 45 billion fucking people running around there. But they're upside down in their numbers too. They're starting to big decrease in births too. And I can understand feeding people and stuff, but I don't understand why you're wanting to fuck with the United States. I don't understand why the world leaders in the United States want to give in on this. I don't understand why aliens get shot down by our military. The motherfuckers can fly from galaxies away. Why are they getting shot down by our fucking shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never understood that shit.
Primordial stuff.
Yeah.
You know. And how did that all catch up? But he says in 1954, was Eisenhower? Who was president then? Eisenhower was no president. Who was a president then? FDR.
1954?
Yeah. Was it FDR? It was after.
Yeah, one of them had a meeting with
Dwight
some alien.
Eisenhower. Is Dwight Eisenhower. Okay.
Yeah.
Dwight Eisenhower had a meeting with them, and he signed some kind of accord with the world leaders and these aliens. And when we did that, he said that's when we saw the massive boost in technology, from microchips, everything. And there was a time we went from, P-51 Mustangs to all of a sudden we got jets.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was a little deal, but he said they learned. I mean, you think about it. We were flying. The best plane we had for a little bit was a P-51. We went from a P-51 to a space shuttle in a 20-year period. That's a big gap. I mean, that's a huge jump in technology.
But I don't understand, like, the population is naturally declining. People are not reproducing. We've been below replacement level since the 70s. And if you look at the numbers, I think China's right behind. Like, you're going to get there on your own. Like, you don't have to do a mass kill-off.
He thinks that he says the New World Order. And I asked the same thing. I'm like, why? This is the best place in the world to be. Everybody's breaking in our borders to try to get here.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's for a reason.
It's not like we don't have plenty of land.
Yes.
Right.
You could take every person in the planet that's ever been born and you could stick them in the Grand Canyon. I saw a stat that said you could stack them up and then you wouldn't even feel the Grand Canyon. Everybody in the world ever.
Wow.
That's how much land we have still. But I think the big cities are overpopulated. You grew up in the Metroplex. What's the difference when you were 10, 12 years old in the Metroplex compared to today?
Oh, it's night and day. I mean, I grew up in Garland, and Garland is a big town. Back when I was a kid, I think it was 100,000 people, but it was all houses because everybody went to Dallas to work.
Yeah.
And it's a shithole.
Well, we drove the other day. Me and Michelle came back through Breckenridge, went to MLR Graphics and picked up our shirts, some stuff for the lodge. And so we came back, dropped paint off the airport, and we went through Fort Worth with Papado's need on 30. So that going that way to get to 20. And it's crazy because I remember when I was 21 at least, we used to go stockyards all the time, but we went to Willow Park to the horse races at Weatherford.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was actually in the country still, kind of.
Yeah.
There was a country between Weatherford and Fort Worth. There ain't no fucking country between Fort Worth and Mineral Wells hardly now at all.
No.
It's all shit built up. The Metroplex has grown. Houston, Austin, all these big metropolises are growing like crazy, and all the small towns like us are dying. Well, I would love to see us get back to where our small towns all had 2,500 people in it, and there was a little less population in the Metroplex.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to live in the Metroplex because they can make a living.
Yeah. And both sides of my family are from Weatherford. So my mom and dad moved out to Garland when I was 2. And so we'd go back every other weekend. So I saw that growth of, Weatherford and everything in between. I mean, Weatherford used to be a tiny little town. And it's just blown up. And everybody is consolidating into these big cities and then spreading out.
Yes.
And urban sprawl. And it's ridiculous.
Decatur.
Yeah.
Decatur's going to be a town of 50,000 people before long, I bet you. I don't even know what their population is now, but it's growing like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you go by, they got nice hospitals now. They got Starbucks. I mean, it used to have JJ's, little restaurant there was called JJ's.
6,800.
Matter of fact, I saw, I was in Bowie getting gas that same, no, it isn't, another day. Me and Michelle went to Dallas for someone. So up at Bowie, and I got gas. And I was getting gas, and there was a kid working on his tire over there, and he had waterfowl wrote on the back of his truck, and he had a Drake shirt on. So I thought, I'm going to see if this kid needs some help. I pulled up next to him, and I said, hey, you a waterfowl hunter? I sure am. I said, do you need some help? He said, no, I'm fixing my tire. I said, okay, just make sure you need some help. He said, you mean like guiding or something? I said, well, I damn sure don't need to be a job as a guide. And then I said something. He goes, he knew who I was. I introduced myself. He goes, and then he knew who I was. He goes, yeah, it was J.J. Kent's son.
Oh, Brandon. Okay.
Yep, that's who that was.
Okay.
But he said, I thought he needed some help because he was messing with his tire, trying to air it up and shit.
Oh, gotcha.
And anyways, it was J.J. Kent's son.
Yeah.
He said, you knew my dad? And I said, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
J.J. was a good guy.
Yep.
One of your best friends in the world.
He was.
But anyways, that was a really weird, that whole thing. But it was just, for some reason, when you listen to it all, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's got to come true. I don't think it's going to come true.
Do you not think I'm not worried about being attacked by aliens and the hologram? That part, it just was an interesting deal. They said that the practice run was the Phoenix Lights, and I thought that was pretty damn interesting. If that was holographs, really,
Never heard of the Phoenix Lights.
But okay.
No, it's a pretty big thing. You can look it up. They got video of it.
I will.
So if we got a deal with some aliens,
The Greys.
The Greys, supposedly.
Yeah, the Greys, and they can take a certain amount of people a year.
Yes.
And I guess they give us technology or.
I don't know what we're trading for it. Maybe to keep them from zapping us.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they need to deal with us.
But why are we shooting down other?
I can't believe we have the technology to shoot down a spaceship.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the motherfuckers flying with the Army or the Navy released with the F-15s or whatever it was. They couldn't shoot them. They couldn't even catch them.
Yeah. I mean, I would compare that to a monkey throwing a rock at a helicopter.
Yes.
You would figure.
Yes.
Just,
And then, we just lost a fighter jet?
Well, they found it the other day, too, in the woods somewhere.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they said that the system got hacked and it threw the pilot out, is what I'd read.
So when they were attacking, I guess whoever's attacking the casinos now has figured out.
But what I'd heard is that somebody hacked the system of that fighter jet, and then they threw that guy out.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Without any notice. Bye.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck did I hit?
Fucking break your neck.
Yeah.
If that's true, that might not be true since they found it, because everybody said that it probably went to Cuba.
That's where I figured it was going to end up. It was in Cuba because the Chinese are getting really big into Cuba. Supposedly, now this is more of that shit. Supposedly shit. They hacked. All the technology secrets that got shipped to Russia around Obama's last year. Don't know if that's true or not. So they know how the system works. So who knows?
Yeah. I got the.
My biggest problem was they couldn't find the fucking plane. Listen.
Well, they found
my
it
fucking
finally.
truck out there. OnStar can find my truck anywhere it wants to find it anytime.
Yeah.
But we can't find a fucking jet that costs $100 million.
For how many days?
Yeah, put an Apple tag on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
But our country, nobody trusts our government. Just like the submarine earlier this summer.
Well, with good reason, nobody trusts our government.
Yeah, damn good reasons.
Yeah, it ain't like they've given us much to trust.
Yeah.
But do you
Was
think
it just these 3 lights right there?
Yes, that was it. It went all across the city of
26 years ago.
Yep. And they said that was the practice run with these holographics. Or holograms or whatever the hell they're called.
Right.
And they said that's all that is a hologram.
But
Of course, we had great cameras back then compared to today, too.
Yep.
yeah, right. So that's another thing that I wonder if people do come forward with good evidence and then they just get snuffed out.
Well, that guy's talking about you, dude.
Because here's the deal. Like on YouTube, whenever I upload a video to YouTube, it goes through a checks period. So it checks everything in that video. So I'm wondering if somebody tries to upload a whatever video it goes through a check and it flags something in the government. Or before the video ever gets any views, a team is there. Video gets pulled down, person goes missing.
Well, there has been rumors for a long time that the CIA had a heart attack gun. I mean, I've heard that for years.
I have too.
And so that makes sense to what he's talking about. And that was in 1989 when he was talking about it. I don't remember in 1989 anybody talking about a heart attack gun. But I was fucking 21 years old. I didn't give two shits about a heart attack gun. I mean, that's the last thing I was worried about was our government.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the only people that talked about shit like this was crazy old fuckers like me now.
Yeah.
So, but I've always heard about a heart attack gun.
Yeah. But back then, I remember hearing about it being something that they shot from a distance. But that makes more sense to me.
Yes.
Something that would just throw volts into your body. And
Andrew Breitbart, didn't he die mysteriously of a heart attack one morning?
he did.
And he had a lot of shit on our government.
Yep. Who was the other guy?
There's been a lot of them, though.
Yeah.
There's been people that anybody that knew the Clintons or Obamas probably. All of Obama's gay lovers are all dead now.
Yep.
I guess they all got hit by the heart attack gun.
The guy that.
Or Big Mike's penis. We're allowed to talk about that on here. We can talk about whatever we want. So no matter, our algorithms get shut down all the time. I can share a picture on Instagram and I can get 8,000 or 10,000 views on something, and I can share another one and I'll get 37.
I watch a guy on YouTube who he throws up memes all the time, and he always throws in one, Big Mike.
Oh yeah, Big Mike's pretty. That's a common question.
Yeah.
Do you think there's really a Big Mike, or do you think that's Michelle? Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I mean, you see those pictures of her walking across the stage in the dress and the little pokey poke, and I'm like, I don't know. Okay, if she's Big Mike, is it really going to look like that, though? She got to be packing bigger than that.
Oh, I think she's swinging some meat. I'm telling you. It looks like a horse running around over there.
But that picture makes it look like she got one of these.
Well, I've seen one where she's dancing. She's got a hog leg.
Oh.
I mean, something porn star be proud of, probably.
I got you.
But do you I'm honest question here, because I talk about this a lot. 24 guys having dinner last night, and I asked them the same question: Big Mike or Michelle? And you know what? Out of 24 people, I didn't have one person say that they really, really thought that was Michelle. They all thought Big Mike. I mean, that's a legit question these days. And these guys were educated guys, all college degrees, all guys, professional guys and stuff. And not one person would say, come on, give me a break. Seriously? Like, and you would think that would happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the way the world's going today, it could very well be possible. I don't know. I hold a lot of things in reservation that I don't understand and I don't know about. If aliens or
if someone come out and told you that she was a man, would that shock you?
No.
See, me neither.
Wouldn't shock me.
And that's where we're at in society, where that is a legit question that everybody's really, really, really wondering.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she won't ever run for president. I really don't. They think, oh, she's going to be the candidate. I don't think she wants the persecution, because the people that she thinks supports her, after being lied to for all them years, that's true, they're not going to support her.
Yeah.
Or him, or whatever the hell it is.
Do you think that the government ever had our best intentions at heart, though?
1777.
Yeah.
I think that was about it.
I think the first 50 years.
Till about the Civil War, maybe?
Yeah. I think that's when the government really got corrupt, was when the Civil War, when the rich Southerners were really trying to fight and lobby and to keep their slaves.
Yeah.
And the people up north thought it was evil and wanted it fixed. And by public perception, outside of the South, everybody wanted it fixed and didn't want slavery, but the big money kept it going. So I think John Wilkes Booth, that was all part of a deal because of slavery. Do we agree on that?
What?
John Wilkes Booth shot President Lincoln because of slavery and rich owners from the South paying to do that. Or why do you think John Wilkes Booth killed Abraham Lincoln?
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't just because he didn't like Abraham Lincoln. There was a reason, and the reason why is because only 5% of white people own slaves. Only 5%. That's not very many. That's, that's how many people take 3 vacations a year in our country. That don't happen very often. It's 5% of the people, and that's all that own slaves. 5% of the white people own slaves. Well, the other 95% of them, probably 2/3 of those people, thought it was wrong. If you lived in the South, you might have not thought that was a big a deal. But everybody up north thought it was horrible. I mean, how could you not? I just can't imagine. I don't care what color someone is, what their race is, what they like to do what their ethnic deal to have someone as a slave is a horror. There had to be a heart. I mean,
No, I don't. I disagree with that.
you don't think so?
Wholeheartedly. Just because it's just how you were brought up.
But
It's just how you were brought up.
only 5% of people had slaves though.
We've gone through that. I think you're wrong.
Look it up. How many people you think had slaves?
In the South?
Yes, total, everywhere. Yeah,
Like, are
In
you
the
talking
South.
world? Like, no.
In
No,
the
we looked it
s-
up. It was like 70% of people in the South had slaves.
No, you're on crack. There's no way. You look that shit up. There's no
I'm
way
going to.
70% of the people had. First of all, most of the people couldn't even afford to feed themselves.
Yeah.
If you didn't own a business, there was no reason to have a slave. I mean, it was free labor. That's what slavery was about.
Yeah.
Correct? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So
As far as I know.
yeah,
Okay, let me find this. Total number 88. Okay, hold on. I'll find it.
I think 5% of the white people had slaves, and like 1%.
1860, 21% of white Southern households owned at least one slave.
So 21% in the South.
Owned at least one.
At
One.
least one.
Okay, if you took everywhere in the United States, it was 5% then.
Probably was.
Okay, but 20% still is not a. I mean, that's not a majority. That's 2 out of 10 people, and it was wrong completely. But
I agree that it was
in the South, it was more accepted.
In hindsight, slavery was terrible. But you can't say that if you were born in the 1800s that you wouldn't be trying to get a slave.
Now, I'm not judging the people that own slaves because that was socially accepted then. It's kind of like now. What we do that's socially accepted now, 100 years from now, is not going to be socially accepted.
Yeah.
And the people that think that they are crazy. Because if the Muslims take over our country in 100 years, which is a damn good possibility the way they're taking over the whole fucking world and fucking it up, and they become in charge of our country, us as Christians, wow, he was a great guy. Oh, he was a Christian. They could cancel you. So the same thing with slavery. What was accepted back then doesn't mean it's going to be accepted in the 200 years from now, 150 years from now. Slavery was a horrible thing, but I don't think when you got to the Northeast where the big populace of the country was at the time like it is now, I don't think it was accepted or socially accepted like it is now. I think it was looked down upon.
Yes. That's why you had the Confederates and the Union.
And I think
North versus South.
And I think John Wilkes Booth was paid by those guys.
He was a Confederate sympathizer.
Okay, and he wanted to kill the president because he thought if Abraham Lincoln was dead, that slavery would go, all that shit would go away.
Yeah.
It didn't.
No. The page had already turned at that point.
And I feel sorry for Abe Lincoln because I went to the Ford Theater, and I went to the rooming house where they kept him after he died, and they had the same sheets on the bed, they say, and they got this plastic case on it. That fucker was like 6'5", right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put fucking Reese in that fucking bed.
Yeah, beds back then were a lot shorter.
Oh, fuck. His old feet had to hang off from the knees down.
Yeah.
That's some bitch ain't never had a good night's sleep. That's why he had the bags under his eyes.
He was like a world-class wrestler, too.
Abe Lincoln was?
Yeah. Like, they talk about, like, he would just get people and, like, just run through them all.
No shit.
Yeah, he would just, like, he'd have, like, a circle around him. And he would just fucking maul these guys. And
He was
and he'd
tall
take the
and
next
lanky
person.
and-
Yeah, just tall, lanky, stout. And,
Jim
like,
Kern.
He would just fucking run through them.
Roll them up like a booger.
Roll them up like a booger and say, all right, who's next?
The strongest people, Jim Kern told me this one time, which he's tall and lanky, he's 6'5", and he told me the strongest people in the world are tall, thin people because their muscles were longer. And it made sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, I saw that little bed he was in. That's all I could think of. That poor son of a bitch fucking had leg cramps when he died.
Yeah.
So knees were pulled up under him and stuff. But that's a. But then again, what kind of people are we that we go pay $20 to go walk in through a room so you can see where he died in it? I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
sick if you think of it that way. And exit through the gift shop, please.
Yeah.
I watched Gangs of New York. I watched like the opening scene of Gangs of New York again. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I need to go rewatch that.
That is a
I
good.
hadn't seen that in a long
That
time.
is a good movie.
What do you think Hell's Kitchen was a bad place to live then?
Oh boy, it goes back to those music festival chicks. Like any woman back then, because Cameron Diaz is a prostitute in it. Like, oh, there ain't no way.
There wasn't no way there's no prostitute looking like Cameron Diaz. back then
No,
either.
but I just mean like a rough old hide. And
Well, you know, the first week.
Yeah, well, after that, well,
yeah, like you want to get a fresh one is what you want to do. But what a movie! The brutality in that movie is insane.
Yeah.
Great movie. Daniel Day-Lewis is a Great actor.
He was-
Crazy, weird dude. Great
Last
actor.
of the Mohicans, he's great too. Do you see everybody's getting pissed off now that Mel Gibson is fixing to be John Wick?
Why?
They're doing a John Wick Chronicles or something. I just read it this morning, and they're pissed off because he's not a Hollywood guy.
No.
You know, he spoke out against the child sex rings and all this shit. They're up in arms, raising hell that they actually picked him. And the guy that's the director said, "Listen, I've worked with Tim before. He's a great actor. That's why I go by. I don't go by his. I don't care what he thinks outside of here." And that was good to hear. And then John Cusack, who's a weird fucker, who my wife has a crush on or did when he was younger. He, he's
it's a prequel, so he's not going to be. He's not going to be John Wick.
no, he's playing whatever the head guy is in the show.
right, but he's not John. Like they're not doing like a
Not Keanu Reeves or whatever his name is.
right, but he's not going to be John. He's not John Wick.
No, but he's the head the head
And like a
role.
prequel type thing.
Yes, like if you went back in Star Wars, you don't have
Right.
Obi-Wan
Harrison
Kenobi.
Ford.
Yes, but anyways, he's going back doing. He's whatever the hell of that deal is. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Who I was going to talk about?
I watched the first John Wick, and past that, I think I might have seen the second one. Past that, I hadn't seen any of them.
After the second one, I was like, okay,
Right.
it's going to be a bunch of people getting killed.
Yeah.
That's it. How many stories can you tell that are basically the same?
It's kind of like Taken.
And I got
Taken
a
was
lot of
really
heat for
good.
that. Yeah.
I loved the first Taken. Taken 2, it's kind of, how many times is this bitch gonna get kidnapped? Like you hadn't learned your lesson. Like people are coming after you.
Bitch, she's
hire
moved to Knox
security
City.
team. Don't
Yeah.
leave your dad.
And now they're about to come out with Equalizer 3.
Yeah, it's out already.
So I'm like,
I've never
is
seen
it
the
gonna-
first two, but they say it's really good.
The first one's really good.
First one's really good. I don't know that I saw the second one.
Has Denzel ever been in a bad movie? He made a runaway train movie great.
Yeah. I can't think of a bad movie.
I've
he's
never
been.
seen the
He
Book
is-
of Eli, and everybody says it's wonderful.
Jeez, man.
It's
Where
one.
have you
It's
been?
I just never have watched it, and every time I'm like, God, and I don't know why I haven't watched it, but I do that with certain movies. I put them off and put them off and put them off, and then I watch them like, man, why did? I'm gonna tell you a movie I didn't watch forever. It was Radio,
Oh yeah.
because I
Jeff's got a heart.
I do, and I don't like. It's funny because I fuck with everybody, make fun of everybody. I don't like to see people get made fun of. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Like I see somebody bullying somebody in a movie, it fucking pisses me off.
For things that they
I don't
can't
think
handle.
I've ever
Yeah.
seen Radio.
Oh, it's a fucking good
sad.
movie. It
That's,
make you
Cuba
cry.
Gooding Jr.,
Yes,
right?
I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
bawled my eyes out in that movie. Which I cry in movies. I'm an old fat Italian emotional man, anyways. But I bawled in Radio. It was a great, great, great movie. But I didn't want to watch it because I knew they made fun of him because he was the R word, and I'm not allowed to use it.
Mentally challenged.
That's the word. We'll just say MC.
On the Eli movie,
Yeah.
the other reason that I love that movie is Gary Oldman. Mm-hmm. Amazing actor.
I don't know who Gary Oldman is.
Yeah, you do. He's in everything.
I don't know who he is. I'm sure if you see him, I'll say,
You know The Professional?
no.
You haven't seen The Professional
I
either?
don't even know what that is.
That's Gary Oldman.
Oh, he has been in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
he's fucking.
There's so
I'll pull
much
up his
stuff.
filmography. Like he's in almost every movie ever made.
Yeah, he's
it
like,
seems like
Kevin Bacon level every movie.
yeah. He was Gordon in
The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. He was in Oppenheimer, which I haven't seen yet. I want to see when I get 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Darkest Hour is a good movie.
That's the
It's a movie about Winston Churchill.
yeah. That was a good. Yeah, he played Winston Churchill.
That's the guy that if I saw him somewhere, I'd be like, I know that guy somewhere.
Well, like they put makeup on him, and like he can just be like a totally different person.
Yeah.
once they put
he
makeup
can
on
be
him.
anybody.
you know, I think he's a really good actor. A great, probably one of my favorite actors of all times is William H. Macy.
Yeah.
When he played fucking Frank Gallagher, there's not a better character. Cosmo Kramer, Frank, I mean, there's just not very many that just really, really, but he played a fucked up, drunk, white trash piece of shit as good as anybody in the world could ever play.
Yeah.
And everything he's been in is he's a good actor.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy, what's the guy that played Sandy in Along Comes Polly?
He's dead. Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman.
Another guy that was a
yeah.
great actor.
Yeah.
A
Really
great,
good.
great, great actor. He played John Adams, and boy, played the shit out of that in that series.
Seymour.
I'll
He
show
played
it to
in Twister too. He played the guy that on the tornado
He played
chasing.
in Twister.
Yep.
He played in the Boogie Nights movie.
Yes, he was the fucking weirdo that was the
Yeah.
camera guy
Yeah.
that was in love with Deuce Bigelow or whatever
Yeah.
his name was. Dirk Diggler.
Dirk Diggler.
Deuce Bigelow. Dirk Diggler. That's a good show too.
Yeah.
He was in Hannibal. That's him in Hannibal. I mean, just a little bit of prosthetics and some shit like that, and he can be anybody.
Oh God.
So he's in the
That's-
Book of Eli.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like the bad guy.
Yeah.
wanted the book.
He runs the little town that
I want to go see
he
it.
stumbles into it. Yeah, you need to see it, and you need to see the professional too. It's when
Drag this just a little bit closer to you. Watch your drink though.
now I can't think of her name.
It's Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman was 12 years old. She was in that movie with him. He was a corrupt drug enforcement agent. That's the role he played in that one. Really good role.
Do you have you ever seen Sicarios?
Oh yeah,
Did you know that the Taylor Sheridan done that?
really.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh, so I heard something interesting. Speaking of Taylor Sheridan, there's a spot in a little town close to my house where they've got a 8-foot fence with barbed wire running around it, and they've got all these little shacks that look the same, like little housing compartments. And somebody was on Facebook, and they were like, "What the hell is that? You know, are they setting up FEMA camps to drag people away?" And then a few people said, "No, that's going to be the set of a new Taylor Sheridan movie."
Well, he lives down there by you
Yeah, I think so.
because we have a lady that hunts with us every year, and husband and wife, and she homeschools either his kids or his somebody that's real close to them. Their kids. They're great kids, great kids, great kids, but they live somewhere down by Weatherford somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Somewhere in
Yeah,
that little area
This is
down
just south of Weatherford, a little bitty
Yeah,
town.
but-
and they got a whole big thing set up. I drove by it this morning.
Well, you know why they're moving all that Hollywood shit to Texas because of the taxes.
Yeah,
You know, I guess they're still on strike.
Yeah, they said that's why Monday Night Football added like 5 games because of the strike. There's nothing to play, I guess.
oh shit.
That's why there's 2 games on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't they stagger them a little bit more hours between them then instead of an hour?
Yeah, make
start
one
one
at-
at 6 and one at 8:30.
But they
Yeah,
said
or
Monday Night
5.
Football is adding games because of the strike. I guess they ran out of shit to.
But opening Monday, where they usually have 2 games, only had 1.
Right.
So we're gonna have 2 Monday night games every week.
for a while, I guess.
Well, I got news for them. That's the only thing people want to watch on TV anyway. Sports hardly. I don't ever watch regular TV. I can't even tell you a series that's on TV other than the Chicago ones because I know the Chicago ones. I see their ads every once in a while, but I don't know a comedy that's on TV no more.
I don't watch any regular TV.
Yeah.
I watch a little bit of Netflix if I have time. I watch YouTube in my office, you know, and watch things I'm interested in, and then I go to bed.
I watch a lot of Netflix.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I turned back on my cable for football season, and like, other than football, I don't watch anything on it.
Yeah.
I don't go to like I used to, reruns or whatever, Big Bang Theory or whatever. Like, outside of football, I never go to that YouTube TV app ever.
I
It's
watched.
just there's nothing that appeals to me.
The other day, a guy came in the office and I was sitting at the computer and I was jacking around. The TV was on. He goes, "You watch Food Network?" He says, "Third time I've come in here and the Food Network's on." I said, "Be honest with you, if there's not football on, that's probably the only channel that I watch, just because I like some of the shows that are on there. I like Bobby Flay's got a new show called Triple Threat or something that's pretty interesting. And I'm not even a cook, but I enjoy the Food Channel. The Food Network's probably I watch the Food Network probably more than anything outside of sports. And I don't know why. I have no clue, but I enjoy that show, the competition cooking stuff. But I'm a Netflix guy, but I hadn't had a new series in a long time that I like.
My wife's watching Modern Family, so when I come to bed, I'll watch that for, the finish the episode.
I've never
and then
seen
we go
that.
to sleep.
I've never seen that show.
The writing on that is really good, really funny.
What's that show? This Is Us or About Us or something?
That was a long time ago. I know my wife watched that.
Michelle watches it unless it maybe five.
Oh, maybe it's still going. Who knows?
But it could be not. It could be that long ago that I just noticed what Michelle watches.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But my wife has also watched the entire Grey's Anatomy series at least 3 times because she turns it on in the office when she's working.
I watched New Amsterdam until someone said it gets real woke. And so I quit watching it.
heard of that.
It's really a good show. It's about a doctor in New York City that takes over a public hospital, and he's a doctor, and he tries to do things the right way and tries to help people. It's a great story of the way it's set up, but they say he gets real woke afterwards so I just quit watching it because I was really liking it up until then. But he's got cancer, and and he don't want nobody to know about it, and him and his wife are having problems, but he had a really good heart. I like seeing people help people that are really down. Because there's so much of that shit going on in the world that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
And that's what I have such a problem with the homeless crisis in our country is I want to help people, but those people want to help them fucking selves. And I saw that firsthand in Seattle. Them people don't give 2 shits about helping themselves. We'll work for pot. I seen this guy holding a sign up that said that.
Yeah.
I don't want to work. Can you just give me some weed? I mean, I'm like, fuck, And And then these people's got these big, nice houses, and they got Cousin Eddie's fucking motor home parked out by the curb, and they got them lined up, and they've got tarps and shit all on them and crap. I'm thinking, you bust your ass. I'd be a mad son of a bitch if I lived up. I don't care how liberal I was or not. You work your ass off. You don't want that shit in your front yard.
Yeah, we went to Seattle, I guess it was, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago maybe. And the hotel we stayed at, we would walk right under that bridge that people are always posting pictures of all the time.
The gum wall?
No, not the gum wall, but there's a big bridge where you would walk to get over to the wharf. And we would walk that route every day to go to the wharf or go wherever we were going. And I couldn't imagine trying to do that today.
We were there 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
Pike's Market. Did you go to Pike's Market?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest places in the country. And I'm telling you right now, I watched Reese is a eater. We did a eating competition thing here that's going to be on our season 2 of The First Family, or season 3. And Andy had to eat some shit, some nasty shit. Andy, my preacher. Reese sat next to his dad, and Reese ate every freaking nasty thing in the world and never even batted an eye, did he? Oh, that's pretty good. That's a little sour. I mean, the nastiest shit in the world, that kid could be Andrew Zimmerman.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
it was terrible, the shit he was eating. But when we were at Pike's Market, Reese ate some mung bean deal and some stuff. That I thought it was so cool because you get every culture is there.
Yeah.
I thought Pike's Market was really cool, but all the other shit in Seattle, all the homeless crap stuff, I just don't get why they don't see. And those towns have to realize it. Like San Francisco, I've never been to San Francisco, and I'll never go, and that kills me because I've always wanted to go to San Francisco. But I wouldn't put myself through that shit nowadays.
Yeah.
All the crime and
Wish I'd have gone back in the 90s.
yes, I would have loved to have gone to Fisherman's Wharf and go to Alcatraz, but I don't want to put myself in. We're going to Northeast. Me and Michelle are going to go. I guess the end of the month of October, we're going to go see the leaves like we always do. I think we're going to go to Nantucket. I've always wanted to go to Nantucket, but I'm looking at airline tickets, and it's cheaper to fly to New York City than it is to Boston, and it's only a 2.5 hour drive. That's for me. It's no big deal to me. So I don't mind renting a car at LaGuardia and driving and then coming back and flying out of LaGuardia because it's much cheaper. But fuck, New York City's getting bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like horrible, horrible, horrible. And you got to land in the Queens, and then you got, I would always just feel like shit over something selfish, like going fucking look at leaves to get Michelle killed. And if something happens to me, I can handle that shit, but it just bothers me.
Yeah. You couldn't get me to go there right now. Nope.
No. I'm looking at tax rates through the year. In World War II, 1944, top rate peaked at 94% of taxable income over $200,000.
So if you made over 200,000, you paid 94% in taxes.
94% in taxes.
Fuck that shit.
In what year?
1944, World War II.
Oh,
we had to
okay.
pay for the war.
Yeah.
$2.5 million in today's money.
Yeah.
94%.
What was it at in 1960?
The next 3 decades, top federal income tax rate remained high. It never dipped below 70% in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
I don't
But I
understand.
think this is only for like the top taxable bracket.
But why do we penalize people for success? Those people that are wealthy, they provide jobs, and the liberals or whoever is doing the taxing, they don't get that shit. You take a guy like Elon Musk that makes whatever the fuck let's say he makes $1 billion a year. He makes more than that, but let's say $1 billion a year. Well, how many jobs does he create?
Yeah.
You know, why are you penalizing him for being successful? Because those people like that, they're creating more jobs.
Yeah. Well, like if he goes out and buys a 200-foot yacht,
It's a lot of jobs.
and yeah, how many people did it take to make that yacht? How many, supplying everything that it took to build it in the
The
first
leather
place?
seats.
The leather seats, the cups, the glasses,
Everything.
the steering wheel, everything, furniture, carpet, manufacturing, steel manufacturing, fiberglass work, windows.
Yeah, I mean it's a trickle down deal, but they
There's
don't.
thousands of jobs lined up in building one boat.
Yeah, and they don't see that. Had an argument in town with a young lady about how horrible rich people are, and I asked her, I'm not going to say her name. I go, what do you mean? Well, rich people, they're the biggest problem in our country. I said, you mean rich white people? That's what she was getting at. Yeah. I said, you know what? I said, there's not a university in the United States of America that wasn't for a rich white person would be open. No, every one of them.
Yeah.
And then I said, let's take out white people, just rich people in general. Every hospital. You go to every hospital, it's got a wing named after somebody. It ain't named after some poor motherfucker.
No.
You know, rich people give their money away.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of bad rich people out there. I think Bill Gates has got God's complex. I really do.
Yeah, definitely.
But Bill Gates also has a foundation that probably does some good for a lot of homeless and that we don't know about. But a lot of wealthy people, Carnegie, you know, he killed those people. He was in on that deal in Pennsylvania. Have you ever heard that story? That rich guys had like a hunting club where they recreation, and they built a dam. They dammed up some deal and built them a nice river and stuff. Well, they didn't. They went chintzy on getting the dam built and stuff. And their big rain came, and the dam collapsed, and it wiped out a town below, and a bunch of people drowned and died. And what was his first name? Was it William Carnegie?
Andrew, wasn't
Andrew
it?
Carnegie. Anyways, he felt it bothered him a lot. And so he built libraries in all these towns, gave money for libraries and education. And you go to a lot of towns, they have a Carnegie library in there.
Yeah.
But that was because of what he did. But he gave that. But rich people, whether they're good or bad, when they give stuff away, we all benefit from that. And I've never had a job given to me by a poor person.
Yeah.
You know, you have, because I gave you a job and I'm poor. So there you go. But I mean, that's true.
Cash
though.
flow.
Everybody, the rich people, bad or good, they've done a lot of good for our country. And our country, if it wasn't for wealthy people, we wouldn't have scholarships, endowments, and people like that don't get that shit.
Yeah.
Like that boat.
There's a difference between being a poor person and a poor business owner.
Right. Yeah.
Being a business owner, you're just poor
Yeah.
because all your money goes to the business.
Yes.
But just being a poor person,
You got nothing.
yeah.
I thought about that the other day. I thought, man, when I was 19, 20 years old, I was making $7 an hour working at a furniture store, and I did side jobs all the time. I had more fucking spending money than I got now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know, spendable income.
Yeah.
And I thought about the first time I drove in the gate here, there wasn't nothing here. Well, we got all this shit's paid for and stuff. So you're poor, but you've accumulated assets.
Yeah.
But-
But the government uses inflation just to keep you at a certain level.
Well, they're doing a good job of that shit right now.
They're doing a real good job.
I bought ribeyes yesterday for the lodge. I paid $8.99 for boneless ribeyes, and I thought, yeah, that's not a bad price. But it used to be about $4.29,
Yeah.
and I think last year I paid $6 something for it. I think it's went up 20%.
Probably.
And a guy asked me the other day, he said, "Oh, you went up on your prices? Fuck, have you been to a grocery store lately? You know, have you seen your electric bill?
Yeah.
Electric bills are fucking ridiculous."
I found some stuff in some old photographs my mom had where steaks were $1.29 a pound.
Wow.
Oh,
And you know what? It was a treat for people to have them at $1.29 because
Right.
they couldn't afford them. I mean,
Yeah.
people didn't have steaks every night.
yeah.
Do you how'd you switched electric companies, Andy? We're going to give a plug to someone, and we're going to talk bad about them. How'd that work out? That's not a good sign. So it hasn't turned out to be a big money saver for you yet.
I mean, I'm down to like 13 kilowatts an hour, or 13 cents per kilowatt hour.
What were you paying before?
Like fucking-
Probably 19.
Yeah, it was bad. I was not proud of. I was not proud of that. Our contract ran out about the time that energy prices really skyrocketed, and there was nothing. And we got locked in for like a 3-year deal. Don't ever do that. So, yeah, now I'm down to 13.
Hell, at least you got an option. Where I
Oh,
live,
yeah.
there is no option.
Are you a co-op?
Yeah.
See, that's what we're out here. And then people call all the time. They do the same thing. Well, let's tell you about your electric rates. I can't do it. I'm on a co-op. Now,
The
our
lodges?
the lodge is on a co-op. But our service here, the guys that work on our power stuff out here are the best in the whole world. They get shit done. Like the other night on Sunday morning at 4:30 in the morning, we have a thunderstorm and knocks the lights out at breakfast time. I called. Within an hour, they had our lights back on. I live in a town. Shit happens. There ain't nothing ever been fixed in an hour in town.
Yeah.
What are your power rates? Do you know?
You know, okay, so we just looked at solar, and I can't remember what our rates are. But hell, our bill was $500 for last month.
Yeah, ours is mine's been 600 every month.
We do have an AC unit and 2 mini splits, one for the addition and one for the grow room. So it's, you know.
Now explain your grow room.
The grow room, everybody thought pot.
shit.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, I went, oh hell.
For my grow house.
Okay, so we grow microgreens.
What are microgreens?
Microgreens are the first 2 leaves that come up from the seed of a plant.
And that's all you do is get 2 leaves, and that's it.
Well, yeah,
Get a
you
little,
get a
get a little bit
stem.
closer to this right here.
Oh, sorry. You get a stem and you get 2 leaves. So like broccoli, it's 2.5 to 3 inches tall, little stem with 2 leaves coming out. The first 2 leaves are called the cotyledons. And that's where all the nutrient from the seed is. So we don't fertilize, we don't pesticide.
It's organic.
Yeah. Not officially organic because you got to go through a bunch of hoops and, kiss the government's ass for that. But basically, yeah, it's organic.
Do you grow broccoli?
We grow broccoli, kale, sunflower, arugula, basil, cabbage, 3 to 4 different kinds of cabbage, mustard.
No, hold on. Cabbage makes a big ball. How big are these balls that you're selling in microgreens?
It's not a ball at all. It's just a tiny little stem with 2 leaves coming out the top.
Well, now, why do people? That'd be a small salad.
Well,
It's like a garnish, isn't it?
yeah. Microgreens got popular because high-end chefs started using them as garnish on their meals. But then people really started researching them and found out they're much denser in nutrients per weight than their full-size.
So you can have a whole salad with micro cabbages in it.
You could.
As
yeah.
a cabbage salad. How much is a micro? What's the price on micro cabbage or broccoli or something?
Yeah, most of our standard stuff runs about $3 an ounce, and we sell them at 1.5 ounces at the farmers market for $5. And 1.5 ounces would probably, last you a week.
Okay, now since I'm stupid, tell
There we
me
go.
how big is a 1.5 ounces? I mean, because I had a guy in court one time come in, got caught with some weed, and the guy comes in and he's got this weed, and I'm like, shit, that's a bunch of fucking weed and stuff. It's like 2 ounces.
So you
Yeah.
just densely pack it kind of like that? Is that how it grows, like kind of in these little squares?
Right. Yeah, we grow them in 10 by 20 trays, and we do a 2-tray system. The top tray that the plants are sitting in has holes in it, and then you lift it up and you water underneath that bottom tray so that you're not spraying the tops of them. You don't get any mold or other pathogens growing.
Right.
How long will that take for? How long until it seeds to you're selling it?
Most of them are 8 to 10 days.
No shit.
Yeah.
So you're turning your money over pretty fast.
Yeah, so we plant on Sunday or Monday, and we harvest on Thursday or Friday
Well, that's badass.
of the fall.
Of the following week.
Yeah,
So you can stagger it. Once you're 2 weeks out of doing this, like you've always got a harvest.
yeah. We've always got something in germination, and we've always got something under lights.
Right.
So after you plant them, you stack them up, and you put a weight on top of them. And what that does is it tells the seed, just like if it was planted in the ground, hey, there's pressure on top of me. I need to send my roots down and the stem up. Mm-hmm. And so we stack the trays like that, put a weight on top of them for 3 or 4 days. And then once they start pushing the trays up, we take them off. And usually we'll put them in a period called blackout for a day or two. And that's basically putting a solid tray on top of them so that the stems are searching for light and they grow up. You want them to get a little tall, but not too leggy that they're falling over. So we let them go like that for about a day or two. And then we put them under the grow lights in a 17-hour cycle, 17 on, 7 off per 24 hours. And we water them once a day. And then on that Friday, they're ready to harvest.
You just clip them and they're starting again at the same time.
Yeah, we just use a chef's knife and
Where
So
do
you'll
y'all
just
go?
cut.
Farmers
You just
market?
cut like right along this right here.
yeah, fairly low, probably about the bottom quarter you don't want to get into.
So about where it turns to purple.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And then
Yeah.
what do people like? You send them to the farmer's market, and what people just like use them as garnishes, or do people like make full salads out of these
No,
things?
people make full salads out of them. Like we'll sell a combo pack that'll have sunflower, pea, radish, broccoli, and then usually something that's kind of a garnish like amaranth or Swiss chard. They both have a pink or a purple color to them.
Right.
So we'll sell those as just kind of like a big salad, and you mix it all together, put a little Parmesan, a little vinaigrette on it, and you're good to go. You got a salad for your family.
What is
be damned.
what's a bag of salad cost at a grocery store nowadays? Just like the mixed. I don't know because I'm not a price shopper.
Yeah, I don't know. I never buy salad. I never grocery shop. So
what's a bag like a salad for a family of 6? Let's say, what are they looking at? $20 for your salad stuff?
yeah, about yeah.
It's interesting.
But it's much more nutrient dense than iceberg lettuce has almost zero
like eating
nutritional
corn.
value. Yeah. You get nothing out of it but a little bit of water and a little bit of cellulose.
I like hearts of romaine a lot better. Anyways, that's my Michelle went to some kind of new mix here, and I don't know what she used. It's a more expensive salad, but it's not. I don't think we have any iceberg lettuce even around here anymore at all. Bags, but it's a more expensive blend of salad. So how's business? Is it growing like crazy?
It's growing steady. I'm about to start venturing into Fort Worth and picking up some new restaurants there. We service 4 restaurants in Granbury. So
what do you deliver every week?
Every week, yep. Yeah, people put them on their sandwiches. My wife loves radish on her burgers because it adds a little spice to it. Like the mustard is almost like a wasabi flavor. Mm-hmm. So that's really good. Sunflower, my kids just snack on it like potato chips.
It's just a green?
It's the first 2 leaves. The sunflower is a little bit thicker and heartier. It's got a nice crunch to it and almost has a nutty flavor. And that makes a good salad by itself.
Fresh vegetables, way to go. We get fresh okra delivered at the lodge now every Friday that's grown locally, and we've been doing every night we do steaks now. We do grilled okra on the Blackstone.
Yeah.
With just olive oil and Parmesan and some garlic salt or something, whatever it is. Shit's good.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell did you find this? Like, did you eat at a restaurant and saw what they were charging, or how did you stumble into microgreens?
No, we started microgreens through our chickens. Mm-hmm. We started, we've had chickens when we were in Oklahoma, and then back here we got them again, and we were like, we need something to lower our chicken food bill.
Right, instead of the chicken scratch?
Yeah.
Right.
So, instead of store-bought with a bunch of soy and all that crap in it. So we started, I jumped on YouTube and what to feed your chickens, and caught videos on fodder, how you can grow your own plants for them. Mm-hmm. And then you would basically grow them and build you a little, kind of like a cage, with steel mesh on top so that the plants would grow up through it and they could eat off the top, but then they wouldn't eat it down to nothing and kill it.
Right.
So we started doing that, and then more YouTube rabbit hole jumping down with, hey, we can eat this stuff. And so we had a spare pantry. We bought a couple, little dollar store trays and tried to grow our own, and that went okay for a few weeks. And then we started figuring things out, started growing more for ourselves. My wife loves to go to farmers markets, so she was visiting everywhere, and she's like, nobody's selling these things anywhere.
Right.
And you see all these videos. So we were like, okay, well, let's see if we can get into our local farmers market. It's 5 minutes up the road. Mm-hmm. Went there with about $100 worth of product and sold it out in about 45 minutes. And we're like, okay, we'll do this again.
Right.
So now we're in basically 4 farmers markets.
Is that every weekend?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah. Saturday.
Kind of rotate?
Mm-hmm. Saturday in Granbury, and then the ones in Lake Worth and Saginaw rotate back and forth every other weekend. Mm-hmm. And then we're at a big one in Benbrook the first weekend of the first Sunday of the month.
There's a big farmer's market over on, what's the mall that's on 30 west of Montgomery, like 2 exits down, Green Valley, Green something or another. There's an exit right
West
there.
of Montgomery.
West of Montgomery exit over by where Papado's is on 30, like over by where the Will Rogers is. There's a Target store there and a mall. It's a shitty mall too. Anyways, there's a farmer's market right there.
Really?
Because me and Michelle went to Target, I'm sure, one day over there. We did the hunting show. We used to stay over there all the time.
Yeah.
And we were over there one time. There's a farmer's market, and we pulled in and we bought some stuff. There's a farmer's market right there. Right actually in Fort Worth.
Okay. I know there's one called Cowtown that's on closer to the west side of town. And then there's one on the south side of town in kind of a newer bougie area. We can't get into that one yet. There's another grower in there, but I hadn't heard of that one.
Well, Fort Worth's turning into a shithole in a lot of places.
Yeah,
used to be a great city, boy. That fucking crime's bad there. I would not let my kids go to Six Flags, and I wouldn't let my kid go to a mall these days. Especially if I had a daughter, like back in the day, people drop their 14-year-old daughters off the mall with their friends to hang out. Looking back, that's fucking stupid as shit.
Oh, yeah.
But today, there's no way in hell I did that crap.
Back in the day, me and my buddy used to take my mom's car when we were 14. She didn't feel like driving us to the mall, so she was like, just be careful.
And, y'all, and you
Going
go to the
all
mall.
day and all night. Go to the mall.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where everybody in junior high hung out back in the
Yeah.
80s. That was a normal thing.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take my kid. We went to, a couple years ago, we went to the movies. It's been fucking 4 years ago at the mall. And I did not feel safe at all even walking the mall. Them little gangbangers walk around and shit. And I was like, bullshit.
There's hardly anything in malls anymore.
No.
Like the one in Wichita Falls, there's nothing there.
Place to get a haircut.
That's it.
The big mall I grew up in, they had to close down due to high crime.
Which
Oh,
mall?
really?
Town East, over in Mesquite.
What's the one
Used
that's
to be
on-
the biggest mall in the United States for a while.
What's the one by Six Flags on Pioneer Parkway?
Oh, I don't know.
They shut that son of a bitch down. It was bad, and then it was in the 80s. It became a discount mall.
Hell, the big one in Plano just got demolished.
No shit.
Yeah, Cullen Creek.
Is the
They
one in
just
Frisco still nice?
hadn't been there in a few years, but probably.
You know, I went in a mall in New York City, and Dylan had to go pee, and I took her up the mall, and it still was kind of open, and it's not like malls used to be. You know, it has this smell of the caramel corn used to be there, and the one in Wichita had a big fountain. Now, one in Wichita Falls is nothing more than a gym for old people to walk. They would have the walk, and if you look on the deals, it shows how many steps it is. You walk the yellow line, it's so many steps, the red line, or whatever it is. And that's everybody goes there to walk. It's old people walking.
Yeah.
But it used to be junior high kids there. But I've never understood these people now that take your 14-year-old daughter and you drop her off at a mall and you'll pick you up at midnight. What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, that's not a good idea anymore.
No, because it's 18-year-old and 20-year-old men, and they're trying to pick up 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anybody goes to a mall.
I think in these bigger cities, because
They still do?
I follow a couple of pages on Facebook that's crime pages in the metroplex, and there's shit happening all the time at malls all the time.
Yeah.
Do you believe, so on Facebook the other day I was looking, and somebody posted that they'd been to Walmart, come outside, and they've got, it was 1W, 2G.
2 C's.
Children?
Or
And-
2 K's, maybe. It was kids.
2K, yeah. So, I don't know.
I saw that too.
Like-
Who the fuck looks at their bumper?
Well, and a lot of times, like the other, it was a while back. It was a month or so ago. Probably even longer than that. It was in the summertime. Local Stanford Walmart lady posted. She didn't feel safe the whole time. Saw some guys that followed her through aisles and stuff, and she'd be going, they'd be coming, type of deal, and it was that way throughout her shopping experience. And then she gets outside and she sees a van or something parked a couple ways back, and a guy is looking at him. And then she tells her daughter, get in the vehicle, and if I scream, unlock the door and get the pistol. If I'm that scared, I'm calling the cops. I'm not going to tell my 12-year-old daughter, hey, get in there, lock it, get the pistol, and if you hear me holler, and unlock it and come help me.
You mean you would use common sense?
I would go get the pistol if I'm that
Or
scared.
just turn around and walk right back in the store.
And say, hey, I need somebody to escort me, please.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I see these on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, I smell bullshit. Either that or you're not very smart. One of the two. You're either lying or you're an imbecile. Because if I'm genuinely, especially my kid, if I've got my kids there and I am, that's my language is lock the vehicle, get the gun.
I'm getting the gun.
I'm getting the gun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have my 8-year-old holding
No.
the pistol. It's not happening.
No.
But it's just you see these things, and they're trafficking at Walmart, and they're taking people at Target, and it's just are they really, or is this just people trying to cause a stir and be special on Facebook?
Well, if people know how to grocery shop, you're gonna meet that same motherfucker on every aisle.
Right, because you start at
you're
the same
supposed to
time.
go down and around. Now, my wife don't do it. We go here, then we go over here, then we come back here, and I'm like, can we not just walk down every aisle? We're gonna go down them all anyways.
Right.
But you walk down the aisle and you meet the same fucking people at every aisle and every place. Excuse me, how are you doing? Blah blah blah. That's normal. But I'm like you on the gun, and I'm like the call 911. First of all, in Stanford, Texas, you have the same police department that we have basically out here.
Yeah.
Small town cops. Bill, we got some guys trying to pick up traffic kids at the Walmart. That motherfucker's going to be there in 3 minutes.
He's waiting for a call like that in Stanford, Texas.
That's what they're going to do. Call them and let them. And if they pull the guy over, I tell people all the time, call the cops. You know what? If it's not for any reason at all, who cares? It's not that big a deal. But if it is someone bad, you're going to be glad you called them. But the gun thing, I don't understand. We stopped on, we was at Shreveport, going to Shreveport one time, and we stopped at a gas station in the middle of fucking nowhere, one of the all-night, it was 10:30, 11 o'clock at night time, and they were still open, and these 3 or 4 guys in this car, and this guy in this big King Ranch truck was getting in a fight in the parking lot. Like, I need to get gas, and I got to pee bad. So I get gas, and I go in and pee, and while I'm in there pissing, I can hear him in the store fighting and arguing. About to come to blows over someone honking at somebody or something. So I got to the truck, and I get in the console, and I get my gun out. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can get my gun." So these guys get into it again. I pull my gun out. Well, these 2 guys come from around the back of the store. So this guy's got 6 against 1 now. And I got my gun. The 2 guys see me with my gun. They get in their fucking car and they leave. My first got a gun and they leave. Well, fuck, I pulled my gun out because I didn't want to get myself in trouble. I wasn't worried about that dude. He's on his own. But if they start shooting and shit, I'm on a way to defend myself. Well, what good would it have been to me to go get the gun out of the console or leave it in the console waiting on my wife? First of all, Michelle had no fucking clue what was even going on. She was on her phone. Huh? What's going on? Why you got your gun? Do you not see all this shit going on in the parking lot?
It's popping off around you, Michelle.
My first bowing up. They got 3 guys.
Yeah. I mean, she just walked right through the middle of them.
Just no clue what was going on. I'm like, what the fuck?
No situational awareness at all.
Yeah. Most people walk through this earth on blind faith and luck without any situational awareness. And it floors me.
Or like the people that go to Iraq or Iran or the Muslim countries, whose Christians are going to hike. Oh, the peaceful people in the world. Then they get to find out they got their head chopped off. Yeah. What do you expect? You know?
Yeah.
You know, if you walk down Martin Luther King Boulevard at 1 o'clock in the morning by yourself, there's a good chance you're going to incur some violence.
Yeah. You're in the belly of the beast.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? You know? Everybody knows that.
And it's your own damn fault.
Yeah, for being stupid. You don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. I watch a guy's videos and he says, "Don't go stupid places at stupid times with stupid people."
Yeah. Because shit's going to happen bad.
That's why I don't really have any strong desire to go to any like football games or anything. Like there's always videos of fights breaking out.
Yeah.
You got a lot of liquor. Somebody's going to lose. It's a recipe for disaster. And I don't really care to take my kids.
Big crowds, anything can happen. You could be sitting there watching a game, 2 people behind you start fighting. One guy gets chunked onto your back, and you go flipping over the damn thing and fall.
When you drive in from Dallas or Houston, or from Houston coming into Dallas, or you're coming from Shreveport, best to not buy gas till you get way, way, way up to Arlington, because that's a shitty place to stop on that road. Because I've had to do that before too. When you pull up to a place and they got bars on the windows and shit. That's not to keep the good people inside. That's to keep the bad people from coming inside. So you're in a bad spot.
And you've got that mob mentality at games. Like, it just takes a spark, and, like, you've got 50 people around you throwing punches.
Yeah.
And then you got a little 8-year-old that's just watching a football game. It's just like, fucking shit.
There's no respect in the world anymore.
No, there's none. And I don't know. I don't really want to take my kids to that.
And damn sure wouldn't go to a soccer game in Europe.
No.
I can't imagine getting that mad over a fucking soccer game anyways.
We went to a Tech baseball game, and it was perfect. There's hardly anybody there. The stadium's already doesn't hold but probably a couple hundred people. Probably holds more than that, but, I mean, it was perfect. Perfect. Everybody was spread out.
I would say baseball is safer than football because it's not near as emotional a game as football is, but then you hear about them fuckers like the Giants and the Dodgers fans. They fucking, somebody gets shot or murdered every year at one of them games. Can you imagine fucking your whole life up over a fucking football game? I mean,
he spilled a beer on me. It's like, okay, now you're gonna go to jail because you hit him and he didn't wake up.
Yeah,
over a spilled beer.
Shoot somebody in the parking lot because they were on the other team.
Yeah, wrong jersey.
Back when the Rangers built their new stadium, the one, not the one they're in now, the one. I'm so old that I remember the one before, or actually 2 before. But anyways, we went to a game one night, and Tony was playing college football. And Tony was really big. I mean, big fucker. And him and my buddy Keith are walking in the aisle, and they're trying to go between people, and they're holding beer. And somebody talks to somebody, and he went like this, and he pulls his beer down this fucker's back. I mean, it hits him right between his shoulder blades and goes right down his ass crack. And he jumps up real quick, and he's mad. He's mad all over. And he jumps up. His wife goes, motherfucker. You know, she's mad. She's trying to string him up. And he jumps up and he goes, who the fuck spilled beer on me? And he jumps up and Tony's looking at him eyeball to eyeball. He looks at Tony and he looks at Keith. He goes, did you fucking do it to Keith?
You little fucker, you the one that did it? Please be the one that did
He's
it.
like, do you need another beer, sir? Kind of pats Tony on his arm. Like, no,
You
sir,
spilled most of it.
I'm okay now. I'll get me another one in a minute. Oh, okay now. God, buddy needs to watch where he spills his beer. he went for that fast. But he was mad. Go fight somebody's ass. You're sir. Then he went right to Keith. You spill your beer on me?
Damn.
I mean, it would suck, but an apology would be like, oh, okay. Like,
Tony's like,
Tony.
Tony did say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But somebody asked him
Accidents
something
happen.
and just poured it right on the deal. But it was
Yeah.
funny. That dude was fighting fucking mad. He jumped up. He's like, oh, yes, sir.
But to pull out a gun over something like
It's
that.
fucking
seems-
stupid.
Yeah.
You don't think about your kids. Like the guy that hit the guy at the football game the other night in New England, a guy got killed at a football game. Guy got punched, hit his head, and it killed him. The guy that hit him didn't mean to kill him. He meant to whip his ass, maybe. I don't even know what the altercation was about. But he ruined that guy's family's life, and he ruined his family's life over a fucking football game. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what happened. Even if I got robbed today, someone come up to me, and I pulled a gun, I would have a hard time shooting somebody over my wallet. I may have $100 in it. I may have $2,000. I don't know. But you try to rob me, and I really, even if I had a gun, I would really have a hard time, I think, shooting somebody and killing somebody over that. Because I think the loss of the money is not as big a deal to me as it would be that I killed somebody over something that should never happen. And I would be in the right to do that, to defend myself.
Absolutely.
But if you try to hurt my family, I ain't got no fucking remorse. I'd pee on you after I shoot you.
Right. I mean, okay, so like getting robbed is one thing, but if a guy comes up to me with a gun
Yeah.
and says, give me all your damn money, in somewhere in the course of that, I'm going to try and put a bullet in him. Because I've seen way too many videos of people who have 100% complied
And still get
and then
shot.
gotten dead for it.
No. He has a gun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a different story. But I'm just
if I
talking
see an
about...
opportunity,
Yeah.
if he shows me his ear,
Yeah.
I'm going to work.
But pulls off a fucking knife or some shit, and I got a gun. You know, if you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna shoot your ass. But you better just turn around.
Yeah.
But you have the right to shoot him right there.
yeah.
Like someone stole some stuff out of one of my storage barn behind my house one day, and if I'd have caught a guy in there, I don't know that I could shoot him over stealing fucking Christmas lights or some
No.
shit. I just don't, because I think it would bother me later down the road. Now you come in my house,
Different story.
I'm gonna drop
Different
your ass in
story.
a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go outside to shoot you.
Yeah.
I had a chance to shoot a guy one time. Was peeping in some windows, come around the house, and he was standing by our pampas grass. And I had a single shot 12 gauge, and I had number 2s in them, probably 3-inch load and stuff. And I cocked it back, and I was like, "Hey, motherfucker!" And some bitch looked up at me, and he took off running. And I put that some bitch right on his back, and I went over about 10 yards, and cable tires across the road from us and stuff. You hear that fucking shot, ching, 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 hitting all that shit over there. Fucking cops were at my house 10 minutes later. It was Harry, was the policeman there.
Yeah.
I told him what happened. He goes, "You sure you didn't hit him?" I said, "Oh, I didn't even shoot at him." He said, "Well, I'm going to call the hospital." I said, "Well, if I'm first to the hospital, he's getting his shit taken out of his drawers because he shit all over himself." But I said, "I could have shot him, and I didn't want to." But it wasn't. And this guy had been peeping Tom in our neighborhood and harassing people for a while. And it was an easy deal for me to do. And I don't know if I'd have gotten... in today's world, I might have got in trouble. But back then, 20 years ago, they wasn't going to...
Yeah.
You should have been peeping in people's doors.
Yeah,
but I didn't want
probably
to do it. Over, you know, young
No,
20-year-old kids just fucked up. It's not worth it. He wasn't
Yeah.
going to hurt nobody. But I didn't want him fucking... I never had no problems after that. Never
I bet
again.
not.
But, you know, in Knox City, when you hear a shotgun go off in the middle of the night somewhere, it fucking wakes everybody up.
Oh, hell yeah. it does.
But I would hate to, I can't imagine that. And there's so many incidences where people have accidents like that. It's not like a car accident where somebody kills someone. That's a horrible, horrible deal. But most time people are not, nobody ever gets in their vehicle, or not, most people don't ever get in a vehicle with intent to hurt anyone else.
Yeah.
Now, when you rob someone, you're taking yourself in your own life. I saw a lady's son rob Dollar General, and some bystander pulled a gun out, and some bystander shot and killed the dude. And his mom's like, "You should be able to rob a Dollar General without worried about getting your life taken." What the fuck are you
Yeah,
thinking? How do
no.
you think something like that? You pick a gun and you go somewhere, rob somebody, you're asking for any problems that happen to you.
Yeah.
Anytime, too. And, like, there's a lot of guys that carry just for that opportunity. Like, fuck yeah. Been carrying for 7 years for this opportunity to show up. I'm popping them.
My Keith, that guy I was talking about that was with Tony on the drinking incident, he worked a job and he got off at 11 o'clock at night. He was an RN and he got off at 11. And he would do the same thing. He'd go to Walmart and he'd buy him some lottery tickets. He went in and get some lottery tickets. He'd come out carrying some lottery tickets. And a guy catches him in the parking lot. Hey, you got some money? Keith, I ain't got no money on me. You got money for lottery tickets, but you ain't got money to give me? And that would piss me off. It's none of your fucking business what I do with my money. I work. It's mine.
Yeah.
And Keith said the guy was getting pretty volatile with him. Keith said, you know what? I think I have some money in my console. He had a fucking pistol in there. He pulled that motherfucker out and stuck it right in that fucking guy's face. He goes, that fucker done fast. Got fast, real fast, getting running out of that parking lot.
Yeah, he probably got real fucking polite and
Yep.
real fucking gone.
He was gone fast. Keith goes, I bet he don't ask me for fucking money outside of Walmart anymore. But he said it pissed me off when he tried to, instead of just saying okay, guy got pissy because he wasn't willing to give him some money and he bought some lottery tickets.
I saw something interesting the other day. A guy was talking about how most people, like, most of the time it ends non-violently. You show them the pistol, it's over with. But he said what people do, right or wrong, is like you have to be the first person to call 911.
Yeah.
Because if the guy that was trying to rob you says, hey, so-and-so pulled a gun on me, he's driving a Ford Expedition, gray, tags are blah, 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 blah. Now you are the bad guy in the cop's eyes. Like, you were just defending yourself, but the cops don't know that. All you know is you pulled a gun at a gas station. So it's like, even if you just show the guy the gun, you don't ever shoot him, like, you've always got to be the first person to call the cops. Because in the cop's mind, you got two actors in this play. Good guy, bad guy. And the first person that calls is going to be treated differently than the suspect.
One's the criminal, one's the victim, and the guy who calls is going to be labeled the victim until the story gets completely straightened out.
You ever had a guy pull a gun on you?
Yeah. In high school.
In high school?
2 of them, actually.
No shit?
Yep.
Same time? Or
No,
different instances?
No, different instances. One was at a house party. The guys from the rival high school showed up. Some little gang. I can't remember what they were called. At High Life or something. Shit. I don't know. Anyways, we got into a big fight, because that's what high schoolers do. And guy pulled a gun on me. And a buddy of mine came around the side of him with a baseball bat and popped him in the chest. And I don't know if the gun was loaded. He never fired it. But he took a full swing to the chest of that baseball bat. There was me and another guy standing right behind me, and he was about probably 5 feet away. He had the gun pointed at us.
Jeez.
That looked
In
good.
high school.
So I had a gun pulled on me one time on a traffic light. I was coming back from a bar one night, probably 1 o'clock in the morning, in Wichita Falls on Midwestern Parkway, and there's some traffic on it. It's real bad. But I had a little RX-7 sports car, and I was trying to pass this guy, and every time I'd pass, he'd kind of get over. It's like, motherfucker, when you're 21, 22 years old, you think you're tougher and shit. I wasn't a big fighter. I could bullshit my way to everything, but I wasn't gonna back down. It pissed me off. I'm fucking honk at the dude and stuff, and then we get to the light at Jacksboro Highway and Midwestern Parkway, and that son of a bitch, I'm fucking pissed. He jumps out of his truck, like, fuck him, I'll get out too, boy. And that fucker pulled a gun at me right before I could get out my door, right in my face. He goes, what are you gonna do now?
Get back in my car and leave.
I look fucking around. There ain't a fucking light. There ain't a person. There ain't nobody nowhere. There ain't no damn camera lights and all that kind of shit. If this son of a bitch wants to shoot and kill me right here, nobody will even know. Just be a dead fucker in a car.
Damn.
And smiled, laughed at me, got in his truck and drove off. He went this way and I went that way. Got home, cleaned out my fucking drawer, scared the shit out of me. So I told the guys at work, they said, "You call the cops?" I go, "I ain't called shit.
I was too scared.
I don't want to see that motherfucker ever again." And I hope. He said, "Well, what did he drive?" His old beat up truck. He goes, "Well, I said, I don't want to see that motherfucker again." He scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie about that. My good friend, one of my best friends, at that same time, about 3 or 4 weeks later, they go to Bar L in Wichita Falls. Are playing pool. This guy wants to play pool with his girlfriend. She's playing pool with him and stuff, and he don't care. He's sitting over there drinking, having a good time. And so the guy's getting kind of handsy. It's going from just playing pool with a bunch of people. He's getting kind of handsy. So he goes, "Hey, it's my girlfriend." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Well, fuck you then." Blah, blah. The guy walks out in the parking lot and comes back in and pulls a big old 357. Fucker, look, the barrel on that son of a bitch was about 18 foot long, it looked like, and stuck it between his eyeballs. My buddy, who's an attorney, this is what he said. "I want you to know that's a felony you're committing right now. Bring that gun on me." That's what he told the guy.
I need you to know.
Yeah. That's That's technically aggravated assault. What you're doing here right now. I just want to let you know what the law is on that.
And if you shoot me between the eyes, you're going to get 2 felonies, buddy.
And the guy, I guess it went registered to that guy because that guy goes, "Huh?" Put his gun up and walked out the door and left.
What?
Yes. Swear
How
to
the
God.
fuck did that work?
Swear to God. But told the guy, like, you got a lot of balls. Someone's
This
got a
is
gun pointed at your fucking deal.
This is a felony, by the way.
Yeah, this is a felony you're committing right now, but this is aggravated assault. I just want you to let you know right now what you're doing is aggravated assault.
Oh, God.
Guy put his gun up and fucking walked out the door and left.
I mean, he probably went, hey, there's 15 witnesses.
Right, yeah.
Shoot this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
walking
not getting
away.
away from it.
Yeah.
That's my life.
But you know, there's some people just don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like those
Plenty of
teenagers
those.
in Vegas that ran over that guy.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
did not give a shit.
The retired cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run his ass over is what they said.
I've known
They should throw the book at them.
They should. I've known some kids. I've known some people though that are young like that they've got so much pride that they just don't know how to just accept. That's what's wrong with one of the problems in the world. People can't take an ass whooping no more.
Yeah.
You get in a fight, that's the end of it. Somebody whips your ass, you may want to go back and fight them again until you whip their ass, but that should be the end of it. Fight, that's all. In fact, nobody knows how to do that shit. Everybody pulls a gun. There was a place in Wichita a couple of years ago. Somebody had a birthday party, and a guy sat in the parking lot with an AR-15. He shot in the door at some people, killed a couple of people. But what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah.
I just don't. I understand people get an emotional deal where they shoot somebody. You know, someone screws you over. You catch someone cheating with your wife, or some guy shoots his wife for doing something, cheating on him and stuff. It's an emotional deal, crime of passion, where they call. I understand people snap and have had some problems, but I don't understand just people randomly wanting to go into a store and just shoot and kill people.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And there's so much of that shit going on. You know, I don't get that. I understand people that have gotten screwed out of millions by people, and they want to fucking kill them because of that.
Most of the people who get screwed out of millions, though, still have millions.
Yes, that's true.
And that's what floors me is I'm like, you know, if I had $1 million and somebody stole $20,000 of mine, is it worth killing them? No.
It's not worth ruining your life over that.
Yeah.
But people don't see that deal. They want vengeance. And I get that, because as Christians we always learn to turn the other cheek. Well, the reason part of our big problems in our country right now is because we do turn the other cheek. We need to start standing up for what we believe in.
That's true.
But it's also not worth it to go to bed. I mean, like you said, someone steals $20,000 for you and you go commit murder to them. That's why ruin your life over that shit? You've taken your life and ruined it over something absolutely for no reason at all.
And you're not going to get away.
No.
Like, especially with cameras and stuff. Speaking of cameras, did you see that? Is it Bobert? Did you see that video? Lauren Bobert?
I haven't seen the video
She got a
yet.
nice rack
It's
on her.
hot.
She got a nice rack.
I'll pull it up right quick. It is a hot video. I am all for it. I think more Congress people need to go get felt up watching Beetlejuice.
There ain't very many people that want to fill up most of them Congress ladies.
I don't pay much attention to this. Didn't she get divorced and this is
Yes.
her new boyfriend or something?
First date is what I've
Oh,
heard.
first date.
Yeah.
If you know Lauren Bobert, you ought to ask her out on a first date.
Right.
We have someone that podcasts. I'm not going to say her name. We know a lady that's on our podcast stuff. She works for her.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It's hot. So first,
So they're not even in the back row.
no, they're like in the middle. So first she said she didn't vape. Blew a hell of a crowd, right? Blew a good cloud right there. First date type thing. Finds out he's a Democrat, which whatever. Like, you know,
She's going to give him a handy instead of giving him.
I mean, you can. So here we go. Beetlejuice is now going on. She's taking selfies with the flash on and all
Are
this
you
other
kidding
stuff.
me?
And
In the middle of the damn movie?
yeah, it's dark. She's dancing, and all the people around her are like, "Listen, it's Beetlejuice, all right? Like, I don't know why you're doing this." And then
Well, because she's got to be all
Here
prim
is-
and proper
here-
in Congress.
here is the climax. Well, kinda. You see him. He gropes her.
Did they ask him to leave?
Yeah,
Look at that rack on her.
she's.
There were some store-bought secondhand titties. Somebody paid for them.
And
Somebody
then
else plays with them.
they're flipping everybody off as they leave, and that's what that blur's about right there. I'll find a better video.
Here's the thing. If it was AOC, I wouldn't give a shit either. If some guy's wrestling with AOC's boobs in the deal, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think everybody pretty well knew.
Now, Nancy Pelosi's got a fake set of cans. You think anybody's going to want to touch her in the theater?
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh,
No,
fuck.
thank
There's
you.
no way.
I would. Yeah, I'd be
Nope.
all for it. Like, there's only a handful of people that can say that they did that.
There's only a handful of people that say they'd want to touch that.
Yeah.
Of Grope. Maybe that's what I need to type in.
You touch it in Lauren Boebert's big difference. Nancy Pelosi, no. Supposedly Nancy Pelosi slept with JFK. I don't know if that's true or not.
There it is. Grope.
She was good looking when she was younger, though.
Timeline, she was probably still older than him. And
she was like 20, 21.
There it is.
Look at him. He gave him a whole handful of them suckers.
Like that's not like a little brush by. That is, hey, I'm camping out for a while.
Yeah.
Look at her.
And then she kind of, brushes up against him.
That's why he was happy to leave.
Yeah.
No shit.
She reached down to his thigh too.
Yeah.
What is thigh?
He probably called security over like, listen, kick us out of here. I'm getting blue balls.
If that shack she's touching, she's already about 9 inches in already.
But
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's her left hand too. Okay.
Yeah.
Or her right hand. I
right
saw her
hand.
left hand come over also.
she's like helping him.
I would
Fill her up.
like to know how that date ended that night.
I think you probably know.
And then he turned on her.
And then, yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They think that he was in on all this stuff as a conspiracy deal. But can you imagine that job, applying for a job? Listen, we want you to go at this chick with really nice fake titties, and then I want you,
You
to
got
rub
to
her
talk
boobs.
her up. You got to get
Yeah.
into the date.
Yeah.
We want to see how far you can get with her in the movie theater because we got special cameras set up.
And she's
night
gonna get-
vision cameras, so
And she's going to give you a hand massage. So just be prepared. Well, I want an extra $10,000 to do this job. Okay.
and she's a good looking lady too.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, she's very attractive. So loves guns. Hey,
She's rubbing on that boys.
she is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see what the big everybody, they're calling her classless and all this, for a first date maybe, I don't know, but
Okay. Well, all of Congress is basically
right.
classless.
Yeah, they
So
just
it's-
hadn't been caught on video.
And the left loves Big Mike, so we're talking about some classless one.
That's true.
Doing the tuck, or what are we doing here?
I'm all for it though. Like I need more videos like this. I mean, she's
The deal is, there's not very many people in Congress that you want to see that happen to.
you don't want to see Mitch McConnell getting rubbed down.
No, that fucker wouldn't know
He'd
what's happening
freeze up.
anyways.
Oh, he'd have a stroke right there.
Boy, he's went rock bottom in a couple of years, hasn't
Oh
he?
yeah, he's done.
I don't
Once you
know
get to
why
that
there's
age-
not a maximum age limit for people in Congress.
should
There's a
be.
minimum. There should be a maximum.
I agree. We should have term limits.
Yeah.
We got a lobbyist come out here the other day trying to sell me on this being on this lobbyist group he's a part of. Matter of fact, he was going to come out here and say, I think I sold him on not coming here. I told him, I said, listen, I don't like lobbyists. I think lobbyists and term limits are our two biggest issues we have with politics today. That's a bottom line.
Yeah.
And campaign financing. Those would be the three. Those are the things we'll get rid of. He goes, yeah, but we're good lobbyists. So yeah, but you're a fucking lobbyist.
The good ones.
I said, he said, well, we're one of three that Trump supports. I don't care. I don't think we need lobbyists of any kind. I said, I think lobbying is wrong. All you're doing is blackmailing for votes. I don't care what you stand up for. Even if it's things I stand up for, it's still wrong. We're paying someone to blackmail or to buy a vote from an elected official. I think it's wrong. No matter what side you're on, we need to get rid of it. Well, I'll let you think about it, and I'll come back with it. Don't do it. You waste your fucking time, buddy. I don't like lobbyists. I said, I like everything you told me about. I believe in. And then he showed me the politicians that he deals with. I said, that motherfucker supported Ron DeSantis. I'm not voting for that son of a bitch. I don't want him anyways. He's a Texas guy. And then on the highest rated one, Dan Crenshaw, the old pirate, was number 2. Fuck Dan Crenshaw, sold out fucking ass.
Oh, he definitely is.
And so I was like, fuck him. I said, that's right there exactly why I don't do it. I said, but I don't want to do it. But what really got me was my insurance agent in town, who I love to death, who's tighter than tree bark. He supposedly is this down. I thought, you get some money out of that motherfucker, you're a damn good salesman. That's all I could think of. It's like, well, you're a good salesperson, but I hate lobbyists.
But let me ask you this though. I mean, we have to raise awareness for certain, like the NRA. Would you consider them lobbyists?
Yes, but it's also organization.
Well, I understand, but if the NRA wasn't around, our right to carry would probably have been eroded by now.
no.
I don't
You don't
think
think
so.
so?
No.
I think NRA gets a lot of money. I think NRA does a lot of good things. Don't get me wrong.
The NRA started out as a good thing, kind of like our country did,
Right?
but the NRA is corrupt top to bottom. Complete shit. Wayne LaPierre, everybody that sits on that board, they're corrupt as hell. All they care about's a freaking paycheck. They're like most of the nonprofit organizations in this country.
That have a
you know what a
shitload of-
nonprofit organization does?
pay their
They-
CEO a
They
shitload.
never cure their problem
Oh,
because if they cure their problem,
Yeah.
they're no longer an organization.
Well, some nonprofits though are different. Like the NFL's a nonprofit. That's the fucking biggest fake thing in the world.
yeah,
Makes billions and billions of dollars, but they're nonprofit. What the fuck do you think you call that extra money you got sitting in the bank? I call that a fucking profit.
Yeah.
You know? But you're
How
right.
is the NFL a nonprofit?
Look them up. They're a nonprofit. I think they have a 501c3 even.
I don't know what a 501c3 is.
That's what nonprofits have. That's their tax deal.
Yeah, Ducks Unlimited, basically the same thing.
a nonprofit. I did not know that.
NFL's a nonprofit. But you got nonprofits that are there's St. Jude's Hospital is probably a nonprofit. They do a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Don't have a problem with that.
No.
I don't have a problem with DU. I don't have a problem because they spend 85% of their money on they show it in their budget and stuff. I have a problem with the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Show me where your fucking money's going.
The Clinton Foundation,
Yeah.
the Red Cross.
Yeah, Red Cross is horrible.
Horrible.
Yep.
The NFL now wants to pay taxes, I guess, to get rid of the nonprofit. Well, that was in 2015.
It shows that though. They're a nonprofit, right?
The NFL Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the lives of those touched by the game of football. So
That's
I don't know if
every
that's the
motherfucker.
NFL or if that's the NFL Foundation.
Whoa, hold on. The NFL Foundation is supposed to do what now?
It's,
They're supposed to give money to people that are touched by football. Write me a check, bitches, because it fucking affects my life every fucking week.
the NFL League Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the lives of those touched by the game of football.
Okay, well, send me a check. Look up the NFL. I think the NFL is a nonprofit also,
Well, I did.
who has a monopoly,
Yeah. Complete.
but a great business plan monopoly because someone else can start a league up. They just can't compete. Plus, they got everybody that's got the TV channel. They got the TV rights, and that's where the money's at in football.
Professional football leagues, 501c.
Yep.
But what do they do with all their extra money at the end of the year?
They pay off sexual assault deals. They pay off money to have name changes on their team, and they do all kinds of shit. They do, but they're owned by individuals. That's what gets me about that. The NFL is owned by 32 different individuals own a team.
Yeah.
Then they pull together their resources on their TV contracts, and they set up the rules and stuff. It's a great business model, but they're a profit. You know. Plus, they talk cities into. Did you see the big fuss? I guess Jacksonville they're wanting to build a new stadium for Jacksonville, and there's a big brouhaha about that. And I don't blame the taxpayer. Same with Arlington. Jerry Jones was given basically what $500-600 million to build that. He put his own money up too, but everything that happens there he gets wealthy off of. Now I'm assuming the city of Arlington's happy they have the Cowboys there. That's probably been really good for them. But they had to have a tax increase to pay for that shit
Yeah.
around there.
So it does not apply to this tax exempt status. Does not apply to the 32 leagues, individually owned franchises.
Just a corporation. But the corporation makes billions of dollars.
Football in America makes $10 billion annually. The NFL wound up in the red, $304 million. Goodell made $44 million bucks.
Yeah.
So there's where your fucking surplus goes. You got to pay Roger Goodell $44 million to make all the sexual.
Don't buy into their bullshit that they lost $304 million.
Yeah.
There is no fucking way they lost $304 million. They may have showed on their books they lost $304 million so they can write off some other shit somewhere else, but they did not lose any money.
Yep.
If you lost $304 million, would you be paying someone $44 million? No.
Right. Yeah. You fire his ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So, I did not know that about the NFL.
Look at that. They have $835 million in secured mortgages.
And notes payable to unrelated third parties. That was in 2012. So I bet the number's even bigger now.
Yeah, they got over $1 billion in real estate loans. They're not losing money. Nobody feels sorry for the NFL. Nobody feels sorry for baseball, NBA, any of them things.
Nope.
That's when,
Y'all can have all that shit.
like the tax, like I wish I knew how to fuck the government over more. Like, because that's all they do. They just know where to put their money. They know what to file for this. And they just hide their money. And at the end of the year, they have a $304 million loss.
Donald Trump said it best.
Yeah.
I ran my business by the tax codes that you people all in here are bitching about me for doing that wrote.
Yeah.
I didn't write any laws. Y'all wrote the laws. I just went by the laws that you have there. You know, They're fucked up because they are built for big businesses. But we've got to have corporations. Like Shell Oil Company is downplayed all the time about how bad they are. Terrible making money out there, make record profits, blah, 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 blah. How many fucking people work for Shell?
Did you see Dave Chappelle
Lots.
do this?
If they didn't have oil, who the fuck would tax the shit out of us?
Yeah.
That's it, bro. I'm out. I'm leaving the country. You coming with us? Nah, I'm good, dog. I'm gonna stay here and get this tax break, see how it works out.
This might not be it.
That's how it is being Dave Chappelle. It's the first time I got somebody to work out like that. Most unlikely.
That's not it. Maybe it's this one.
I'm watching the news now. They're declaring the end of the Trump era. Now, okay, I can see how in New York you might screaming at the top of his lungs. This whole system is rigged, he said. And across the stage was a white woman, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, sitting over there looking at him like, no, it's not. I said, now, wait a minute, bro. That's what he said. And the moderator said, well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, as you suggest, what would be your evidence? You remember what he said, bro? He said, I know the system is rigged because I use it. I said, God damn. No one ever heard someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, this man doesn't pay his taxes. He shot right back. That makes me smart. And then he said, if you want me to pay my taxes, then change the tax code. But I know you won't, because your friends and your donors enjoy the same tax breaks that I do. And with that, my friends, a star was born. No one had ever seen anything like that. No one had ever seen somebody come from inside that house, outside, and tell all the commoners, we are doing everything that you think we are doing inside that house.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Right.
You want me to pay my taxes? Fix it. I'll pay them. I'll play by the rules. But I know you won't do it because all of your donors enjoy the same shit that I do.
I don't understand stocks and all that shit. I don't. All this shit that goes on in Manhattan. It's always amazed me how some guy living in an office in upstairs in the 70th floor in Manhattan can own 1 million bushels of corn on the commodity market and never seen a fucking corn cob in his life. I don't get that. And trades and makes millions of dollars off time and never does nothing at all. Never has to store that shit. And I don't understand that market, how that works.
Well, you've seen the grain bins in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. I mean, and 100 years ago, every farmer had a grain bin. And then somebody went, hey, why don't you let me store your grain? And then when you're ready to sell it, you don't have to mess with it. I'll just tell you what the guy's offering. I'll send you a check when it's done. Convenience. Everybody just doesn't want to do their own thing anymore. They want somebody else to do it for them. Everything has become so specialized that just kept the system going.
Yeah, and it's such a fucked up system on so many different levels.
Oh, yeah.
Oil, any commodity like that at all. And the poor guy who's farming it, he's got all the skin in the game, but the profit's going somewhere else. It's like the beef market right now. I saw a really interesting deal the other day, and it was talking about cattle. If we raise a cow out here and we butcher it and we eat it ourselves, it's fine. But if I butcher 3 cows and I sell to 2 people in town that don't have any cattle and we butcher it, do it, I can't do that. It's against the law. You're a grown-ass person. You can't come to me and buy a cow that I butcher for you because I can butcher one, Jeff Stanfield don't know how to butcher a fucking cow, but somebody out here does. And if he did and I paid him and said, you what, you got a cow, I want to buy that from you. I'll sell you the cow for $1,000 and I'll charge you $400 to butcher it for you. Okay, $1,400. I'm getting a side of beef for my family. That'll feed us for 6 to 9 months. That's what I'll do. Well, you can't do that because he's not going through an USDA processing and all that shit. They regulate the shit out of this stuff, and they've taken us having the right to do what we want with our bodies and our food, and they've taken it away from us.
Yep. That's like all that we drink is whole milk now, but you can't buy it in the store. We got to drive an hour to the other side of Cleburne to a little bitty dairy that we like their milk, so that's where we get it.
Yeah, you say whole milk. That's you can't
Raw milk.
Raw milk, so nothing's
100%
pasteurized.
raw milk. Right.
Okay.
How long does that stay good for?
Man, we go by, I have bought 5 gallons at a time, and we go through about a gallon a week. And that 5th gallon was still perfectly fine.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
it's not pasteurized.
Because it's not pasteurized, it's not homogenized. Homogenization is what really fucks up milk.
I don't even know what that means.
So during the homogenization process, they break down the molecules to keep the cream from separating.
Okay.
And then pasteurization, you know, basically they're heating it up, dividing it up, and then putting it back together, which is total crap. Why would you, you know, I mean,
Adding a step.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that come up with pasteurization? Louis, it's Louis somebody.
Yeah.
God, what the hell's that guy's name?
I mean, I get it because, you know, tuberculosis used to be a real problem.
Louis Pasteur.
Pasteur.
Yeah. Pasteurization. Louis Pasteur.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we drive to the other side of Cleburne to go pick up our milk. We get 4 gallons at a time. 4 weeks later,
Still good.
That 4th jug is still good.
So they invented it for tuberculosis?
I mean, I think that's the common illness you can get now with,
Unpasteurized milk?
yeah,
Really?
I
I didn't
think.
know that.
They pasteurize a lot of shit. I know honey's not pasteurized. That's why you're not supposed to give it to babies.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah. But
Kinda.
pasteurized honey is basically just sugar.
Right.
It doesn't have any benefits.
But raw honey,
But raw honey is great for you.
I saw somebody, there's a lady that I follow, and she's all natural, whatever. No, it wasn't her. It was somebody else. But anyway, they put onions in raw honey, and they let it sit for like 2 days, and it's better than any cough syrup that you'll ever buy from the store.
Yep. You can do the same thing with garlic. Has a
Really?
amazing health benefits. Yeah.
Really?
so you take honey, so you put a hole in your garlic cloves in honey, and you let it set for a couple of days, and then you use the cough syrup as syrup, and that cures a cough. I'll be damned. We were talking about this the other day, cough deals. Back about 15 years ago, you used to buy these little beads that you take if you coughed real bad, and they would break apart in your throat and it would paralyze your throat basically, and you couldn't feel it, so you didn't have the itchiness. And
Like that throat spray, but
but not the shitty, that chloroseptic. That fucking after taste of
God.
chloroseptic. Whoa,
it's horrible.
But the same premises that it kind of thaws you to. But it was a little bead, and they don't sell them anymore.
Yeah.
That was the best. It was you had to get a prescription for it.
Yeah.
But it was the best cough deal there was.
But that's the kind of the journey that we've been going on.
Onion syrup.
Let me turn that off and not pause it until you're...
You know, with growing our microgreens, we started looking at all these different things. Most of the things that people use to get better are found in nature.
Yeah.
And people have just replaced that with chemical crap.
Right.
Yes.
You know, food is medicine, and anything that's man-made is just a drug to me.
Yeah.
I won't take drugs.
Yeah. Well, and like when you look at everything that you got to do something with all the crap that you're putting in your body. And like your body doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
With most of the stuff that we get that's over processed and just this commercial stuff, your body just doesn't know how to fucking break it down.
Yeah.
And that's what's leading to a lot of the extra inflammation and just the whole list of problems that you're seeing today. It's all just from the stuff that we put in our bodies.
Yeah.
The best stuff ever is whatever the Japanese are doing. I think their lifespan is 88 years old.
Fish.
Or
Lots of fish.
We're at 78.
Yep.
They're going to outlive us by 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fish is what they say.
Fish and rice, and I'm assuming they don't have Little Debbie snacks.
Well, and I think I
Yeah.
actually think white rice is better for you than brown rice. I think brown rice has something. Maybe that's wrong.
No, it's the other way around.
Other way around. Maybe it is. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just honey and it just makes a nice cough syrup.
Yeah. But if you take out all the processed sugar, the processed wheat, flour out of your diet,
Yeah.
you're going to see a huge change. You lower your carb intake, you stop eating processed foods. When I started doing that a few months ago, I used to get up in the morning and, we got hardwood floors, but my feet would ache. I mean, just like burn for about the first 10 or 15 steps till I went to take a piss and then went to go get my coffee. It doesn't happen anymore.
We're taking that stuff out. It's funny, you watch a video in the 70s and you see there's no fat people.
Yeah.
Like in my class in elementary, we had one fat kid. That was it. And he wasn't today's standards. He wasn't even big. He's just husky.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't, but he was the heavy one in the class. You know, he was wearing husky jeans from Sears. That was it, one. And we had one girl that was pleasantly plump. That was it. Everybody else was cookie cutter, basically. We could all wear each other's clothes and we're all about the same size. That's one way it is.
Because
You go to school nowadays. Fucking everybody's fat ass little kids everywhere. I play Santa every year. Let me tell you something. My knees hurt after playing Santa Claus. First of all, I ran into some kids last year, that 8, 9 years old. I could barely fucking pick up to put on my knee. They said my name like, oh, you know, and it just, but it's sad what we've done to our kids. But you go to them places where people are healthy and they're not eating Little Debbie snacks. I cut out a month ago. I decided I got to lose some weight. I've gained about 25 pounds back since my surgery, and it's because I eat shitty foods. And it's I don't eat a lot of something, but if there's a Little Debbie snack, I'm eating oatmeal cream pie because I like them.
Yeah.
You know, I used to eat 2 or 3 of them. Now I eat about 3/4 of one, and Ollie gets the other 1/4 of one. But I've quit eating those. But it's shit like that we have that's bad for us.
Well, and people also don't realize how many calories they're drinking in a day.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, drinking your calories is just the worst.
Yeah, and people don't realize it because it's just this liquid thing, and they're like, but they don't ever do the math of like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have whatever calorie count you're thinking of, and it's like I've had 3/4 of that just in my drinks that I'm drinking.
Yeah, and people think like orange. People still think orange juice is good for you.
That's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's all
for
sugar.
You. It's,
What about the cold pressed orange juice? Because that's just oranges.
The thing of it is like your body can't tell the difference between a Twix and just something that's got a high sugar concentration like orange juice.
So no. I'm talking about
Your body has to break. Your body is going to break it down the exact same.
I'm talking about cold pressed, where it's just a juice, just orange.
well, you still don't have any fiber unless you're getting full pulp.
I like full pulp. It's
too.
my favorite type of orange. But like the cold press at Central Market, they sell the cold press. They got watermelon. They got all kinds of, and I think all that is just pure like just a fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yeah,
that can't be as bad for you as. But if you're drinking Minute Maid, they got sugars and stuff added to that.
yeah. But the problem is, fruits are seasonal.
Yeah.
People didn't evolve and develop and live for thousands and thousands of years eating fruit all year.
No.
We get fruit from South America and Africa and all kinds of freaking places all year long. People eat way too much fruit. Fruit's not bad for you, but you know, like bears. Bears eat fruit seasonally when it's available. We eat it all freaking year long. The bananas that they grow today are so much higher in sugar than they did 50 years ago.
We just Cisco. We get a case every week here at the lodge. And I like bananas. I eat 3 a day. And I'm telling you right now, the ones I got now are super sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, super, super sweet. I don't like fruit in the wintertime. Like watermelon, you can't fucking... Watermelon, you better eat your watermelon in July and August, maybe late June. Because once you get past that, it's not very good. It's not very sweet.
Most of it's coming from Argentina or Brazil. Or,
Yes, but
Harvard did a study on the carnivore diet, finding from the 2,000 roughly participants on a 6-month plus carnivore diet. 100% of them came off diabetes injectable medications. 92% came off insulin completely. 84% of diabetics came off oral medication. Inflammatory markers decrease, and 90% improvement across all diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And average weight loss was 20 pounds.
Yep.
But it's just fucking the pastas and the bread and like you said, like even the fruit that people eat. It's just they eat way too much fruit because for so long we were told, oh, you got to have your fruits, you got to have all this other stuff. And it's like, well, you can have a little bit. Yeah. But like if you know, because everybody thinks that they're being healthy by eating fruit. It's like, well, your body's going to do the exact same thing with that sugar.
Yeah. Sugar is sugar.
Doesn't know what to do that's any different.
No. Sugar also decreases oxygen in your body.
Yep.
Which I haven't done all the research on it, but I'm getting convinced that's the heart of the cancer epidemic.
Yes, that's what Ron thought. That's why Ron was taking, he would drink food grade hydrogen peroxide and he would mix it up. We had a couple guys that they were pretty bad off with cancer, and they drink that food grade hydrogen peroxide. They even got so far as that they were taking baths in it just to let it soak through their pores. And Ron was the only one that died of cancer.
So that's funny because when I was in Kansas a month ago, I was talking to a guy who worked at the co-op, and he told me he drinks hydrogen peroxide every single day, and he has for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the dude is, I mean, on the outside, the picture of health, he's slim but not skinny. He doesn't exercise, but looks like relatively good shape and good health. And I was like,
there's a guy, his name's Gary Brecka, and you've probably seen some of the stuff on Instagram or Facebook, but his job, his career before he did this was he worked for a life insurance company, and he would look at all the cases. You know, whenever you apply for life insurance, like somebody has to look at your blood work and just all of your medical history to see like, okay, like how long is he going to pay us before we have to pay him? Is he a good investment for the company? So he got really, really good at predicting when people were going to die just by looking at these basic couple things that whatever he would look at. And like now, like he's a wellness guy now, and getting people off medication. But like he has said, like there is no disease known to man that can survive in an oxygenated state. So like you were saying, like sugar decreases the amount of oxygen. Well, then that just leads to the amount of diseases that your body is susceptible to, because you're taking oxygen out of the blood system. Mm-hmm. And that's why Ron was drinking food grade hydrogen peroxide, because the theory is that when you drink these things, it adds an extra oxygen molecule into your system. So you're getting a boost in oxygen, which in theory will cure cancer. Told him Ron was the only one that died from the couple guys that were doing the food grade hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, they're all still alive.
They're all still alive. Ron might have gotten onto it too late. But Dana White was like...
yeah, but Dad had a disease besides before lung cancer.
Yeah, leukemia, which is still cancer.
Right, but he had whatever it was, once it got in your body, there was nothing they could do. They told us when we had it's incurable. It's a onset of leukemia, and once it hits it, it's going to be full-blown. Then he got lung cancer. But I was really proud of Dad because he wanted to put everything on... what's the company that sprays all this shit? Monsanto. That was his deal.
Did.
Every time he'd see a commercial, y'all need to call them right there, because I've been spraying some Roundup around here. And then I asked him with his lung cancer, I said, do you think that was from being a fireman and all that smoke? He said, fuck no, it's from smoking 3 packs a day for 25 or 30 years.
Yeah.
He goes, it's exact, and that's what the doctor said.
Here's this guy, like
Listen, man, I don't even know who you are or what you do. And he goes, so I've got about 8 minutes, man. Why don't you just give me your spiel? I said, well, Grant, why don't we start by you telling me how you feel? And he said, Gary, I feel great. I'm running around the world. I'm building my empire. I feel great. I said, do you mind if I tell you what I see in your test? He said, no, go ahead. I said, well, Grant, I've seen a man that goes to bed exhausted, but his mind keeps him up until the wee hours of the morning. And I said, I can see that you wake up sore and achy in the morning like you had a workout the night before when you haven't, and that it really bothers you when you get out of bed first thing in the morning, and the soles of your feet and ankles hurt when they touch the ground. I don't know anything about your low life, but Vito left the building 9 months ago. And then I said, and I'll bet if I was to guess the thing that bothers you most is brain fog. He goes, what in the hell do you mean, dementia? I said, no, not dementia, brain fog. You get a great idea in the bedroom. By the time you walk through the kitchen, you wonder what the heck you're doing in the kitchen. And he was dead silent. He said, Gary, I feel like shit. This is great card out.
And then, so he's also helped Dana White. Dana White had a whole host of issues that doctors were treating. Medication. Mm-hmm. He's off all of his medication because of the things that this guy's done. So, like, first thing in the morning, he tells you the first 45 minutes of sunlight are the best thing that you can do for your body. There's no UV rays. There's no, it's not going to hurt your body, but it kind of wakes your body up, gets your body going, gets your circadian rhythm in order. And then he'll do 3 rounds of 30 obnoxiously big breaths. And he'll do breath work, and that's adding oxygen into the system. And he does a whole bunch of other stuff too, but super interesting guy. But Dana White's like, I will never go back to another doctor, because all they cared about was keeping me on medication.
Yeah.
They did not want to fix the problem to where I could get off and just go do my thing.
And all man-made medication does is mask symptoms.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing that Russell Brand's in trouble for, is he said it articulately. You know, you get the war machine that makes millions of dollars off of war. You get these energy companies that profit under energy crisis, and you got pharmacy that is paid to keep people sick. Like he was like, you know, COVID. I can't remember. I think Pfizer made like $1,000 a second during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
So he's like,
With-
of
with
course we're
abs-
going to incentivize another pandemic.
Yeah, with absolute immunity too.
Yeah.
And we're absolutely stupid because we just keep buying into it. We're not. We're three here ain't buying into it. And there's a lot more people like us that aren't. But those fucking people that I saw a lady today raising hell because she couldn't believe someone around her was not wearing a mask. Well, if your mask works, what the fuck does it matter if I'm wearing mine?
Right. If your vaccine works,
Yeah.
what does it matter if I have
Yeah,
one?
I mean, who would give a shit? I could walk into a room full of people with polio right now, and I don't give two shits or worry about it. I mean, because I'm not going to I've been vaccinated for that years ago because the polio vaccine works. Difference in what they're taking,
Yeah.
you know. So,
And it was also tested for years and
Yes.
years
Yeah.
and years.
you imagine me that first guy that they tested for the what was it they had? Smallpox. And they'd cut you and take the sore off and put it on someone else to try to get them that's how they
Oh Lord.
to make you not get it. Took a lot of faith in that.
Yeah.
They did what now? They cut it off?
If you had smallpox, I guess you get boils and stuff on you, and they would lance them boils, and then they would put them on someone else to try to. And
that's how they tested.
That's how
to
they
see
tested
if-
part of this. How it worked
See
out.
if it was working.
That's part of the one of the deals. You know that Iditarod race is founded because of polio, or was it smallpox or polio? It's smallpox, I think.
Smallpox. I
That,
think.
do you know that story?
What?
The Iditarod dog race.
Oh,
They there was a village there that had smallpox that hit the village, and they needed to get the serum to them to do it, and they couldn't do it. The only way they could do it was dogs.
Really?
And so they went from dog to town, and someone else would get their dogs and go, and that's where the Iditarod came from, 1,000 miles or something. They had to do it like 48 or 72 hours, and they did it with dog sleds.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
America's a strong, strong, strong place with a lot of really cool stories, which all the world is too. But makes you wonder what the world would be like if it wasn't for America.
Yeah.
I like that new saying too. I wished Americans loved America the way Texans love Texas. There's a lot to that.
Yep.
Yeah. Texans are proud.
We are proud.
Way too proud, probably.
All right, Brian.
Got my dual citizenship shirt on here.
There you go.
And if we jump ship as Texas as a country, I wouldn't be too disappointed.
No, I just don't think it won't happen. But that would be because it wouldn't be just us. It'd be a lot of the whole Midwest would go with us.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, it would.
Take as many people as we could.
I mean, there's a lot of changes coming. You got all them states out west that are wanting to divide up. All the people that's live in eastern Washington are sick and tired of being part of Seattle. All the people in eastern Oregon are tired. They all want to be part of Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, eventually Idaho's going to get some liberal fucking city like Boise City. It's going to take over, and they're going to want northern Idaho. Like Austin, I could give two shits if we keep Austin in Texas.
Yeah.
Take that shit and go somewhere else with it.
Did you notice any different in your chickens going back to those when you got them on microgreens and away from like the processed stuff?
Yeah. The
did?
yolks got a lot darker.
Oh, they
now,
did?
We let our chickens free range anyways, but just in our backyard. Our backyard's it's probably a quarter of an acre.
Right.
It's a big, big backyard. But we give all the, after we harvest, we give all the trays to our chickens. So the yolks got a lot darker, a lot more golden color.
Right.
And we sell those as fast as they can lay. I
Eggs?
mean, at the market,
How many chickens do you have?
about 25.
Oh, fuck.
But
How many did we have?
We had 30 at one time. I think we're down to like 10 or 11 or 12. The heat fucking just zapped us.
yeah, the heat killed one, and then yesterday afternoon it was funny because my wife went out there to just mess around, and all the chickens were in one spot. She walks over, and they're all eating a dead chicken. I'm like, what the hell happened? They were all here yesterday.
They're
One just kicked a can.
and they were eating them.
Finicky.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they were
Fucking
carnivores.
chickens will eat the shit out of meat.
chickens are opportunistic
Really?
omnivores.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I did not know. Well, I know that they're like descendants of T-Rex,
yeah.
like they're dinosaurs.
They
basically.
will eat anything that can be eaten. They will
Really?
chase down mice. They will eat snakes. They will.
See, I'd always heard they killed snakes, but I didn't know they'd eat them.
Oh yeah,
They'll just make a meal out of a
yeah.
snake.
Once they figure out it's a food source.
Yeah.
yeah. They're all on, they're after them. Now they may not realize that thing's a food source, so they may not mess with it.
Right.
But if one chicken figures it out, and then it's gone. It's on. They're gonna eat them all.
How do they kill? Like a rattlesnake? Would a rattlesnake kill a chicken if it bit it? It would.
Yeah.
So, do they gang up on the snake, or are they only eating like non-poisonous snakes?
Well,
They'll kill anything that's
yeah.
there.
They'll kill anything they can.
Just
I mean,
peck it.
it's-
Just peck it to death.
Yeah.
Huh?
What the hell is she thinking they're going to do?
I
Put
didn't
on
know
a
if they
figure four leg
stomped it.
lock?
Did they stomp on it? They got fucking talons. Talons, Jeff.
But I'm gonna tell you what, you ain't ever been
Well-
flogged till you have a big fucking barn rooster get after your ass.
Yeah.
No roosters at your place, just chickens.
We've got one.
Is he mean?
And he's gone after my 4-year-old a couple of times, but never any injuries. He just, doesn't
Raise
like
up.
what she's doing because she used to be the chicken whisperer. Before we got this rooster, she would catch every chicken in our yard relentlessly every day and pick them up and hold them. But now she can't do that anymore because he's protecting them.
Them
What
some
do you
bitches are
have to
mean.
do? You just got to stand up to it? You got a rooster coming at you. Just stand your ground?
You can stand up to it, but
He'll whip your ass.
If he's an older one, he's going to whip your ass.
He will.
I've seen a couple people do a thing where they'll grab the chicken, turn it upside down, and then basically hold it between their legs and rock it back and forth.
Yeah?
And that basically puts them into a trance and lets them know they're not the boss.
Right.
And then
you gotta catch the
and then
fucker
you set them
first.
down, and then you just let them be, and they'll sit like that for a minute, and then eventually they'll roll over and run away. But they say that will pretty much cure a rooster.
Reprogram the rooster?
A big rooster will whip your ass. My neighbors had one, and we'd go through his backyard, and that son of a bitch, if you through the backyard before he see you, but if he saw you, he was on your ass, boy.
But he's protecting the chickens.
Yeah.
Because those are his chickens.
Yep.
So he sees your daughter as a threat.
Yeah.
Oh, I get
Because
it now.
she's closer to the size of a chicken than
Right.
we are.
Right.
He knows basically not to screw with us because we raised him from a chick.
Do
but-
you not laugh your ass off when you see videos of those big geese getting on those guys at the golf courses and
Oh,
shit?
yeah.
Goddamn, it's funny as shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and they
like-
whoop some ass, boy.
I would wring that goose's neck.
Oh,
in
the
a
fuckers all the
heartbeat.
time.
And people are so scared of them.
Yes.
I'm like, they're not going to hurt you.
Did you see this video of this fucking kid?
I think I've seen this one.
there and face him.
You start running,
Blake Poppy right there.
Run from him.
Yeah.
Oh, here he goes. Oh, shit.
Yeah, win it, yeah, win it, yeah.
That chicken's wanting to fight.
Fucking kid. Son of a bitch, he said.
Jax, you're winning, you're winning.
stop screaming, kid. Lord.
He's out of breath. The fucker.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of outfit he's wearing, anyways.
He just fucking woke him up, I guess.
Got a new aerobics program.
You son of a bitch.
All right,
That is Blake Poppy right
I'm
there.
telling you.
Fucker ran away, and that's all that rooster needed. I play this game, bitch.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you coming out here and being on the podcast. You worked for us a long time. Great guy. We'll have to have you on with us again.
Anytime.
How do people get a hold of you on the Microgreens?
We're at Hall's Microgreens on Facebook and Instagram.
Hall's Microgreens.
Do you ship them, or is the best place to be is like at the farmer's market?
Yeah, at the farmer's market is the best place. We tried shipping to a restaurant in Oklahoma, and it's logistically very hard and very expensive because you have to ship in ice packs too.
Yeah.
So
Catch you at you're at all the farmers markets. So
Yep.
not hard to find.
if you're not anywhere near them or near us, go check out farmers markets and find some near you because they're good for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. This comes out Friday, right?
Well, today's Thursday.
Yep. Have a great weekend. Be safe. God bless you. Take care.
Thanks for
Peace.
having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, go check out our great
this last 3
sponsors.
hours?
Go check out Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, MLR Graphics, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, and Hemp Hill Farms.